What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another New York Giants, not New York Giants video, Just Chillin podcast call-in show. We had one this past Sunday, so technically, what I'm saying, I was actually considering. I'm like, should I do it? I was like, nah, let me do it. Let me not do that to you guys. Tuesdays, what everybody's used to. The only reason the Sunday one existed was because we all needed a space to vent right after the game. Man, I think I ended up streaming like a total like 6 hours that day. That was crazy. We do have a guest on the show coming on a little bit later on. Diggy's gonna pop in at some point, so he's gonna be on here, talking to the callers with me, also giving his opinion on both the Washington football team game that's coming up this Thursday, along with I guess a little bit of recap of the Broncos game, even though even though it's only been 2 days. Because of the nature of week 2 is on a short day, I feel like we all just kind of have to move on from it and move forward and just focus on Washington. I really don't want to, because I want to have as much time as possible to grieve over that Broncos loss. But hey, man, it is what it is. That's all I could say. It is what it is. And so we're just going to have to continue going forward. That's why the thumbnail of this video has the Washington football team logo in it instead of the Broncos logo. You know what I mean? We on the short week. We just got to do this thing. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I see Logan in here, Edward Sham, Big Play Slay, Zach, Yuvraj Singh, Jaden the Champ, Will Pastoral, Sunday. What up, Sunday? Just came from Authentic Stream. Football Talk with Benny, Joseph Balby, Cresley, and Miz in here. What's up, everybody? C Bands in here as well. Bark Nasty. I don't think you had a chance to call in on Sunday, Bark, so I hope you do it today when I drop the link. T6, everybody, what's up? That being said, I'm gonna pop on the first members. Bobby Woodruff, what's up?
We passed on him, right? Like, would Patrick Mahomes be the same player that he is?
All right. With that being said, I guess he's not focused right now. Shout out to Diggy.
What's going on?
How you doing? Nerding Out Sports in here as well with Tudo, Mark Primetime. So Logan, I see you back. I'm gonna pop you in a second. But Dig, I was just telling the chat, I'm like, because of the nature of the week, even though I want to grieve a little bit more because that's just who I am, we just got to move on to Washington at this point. We're already 2 days away from the game.
We're on to Washington.
We're on the Washington, man. What's up, man? We were talking earlier, and I want you to talk about this because you brought up a very interesting point of how Judge might be the one holding back this offense. Explain what you mean by that. And I guess, give all the context you need for the chat.
Yeah, first off, I see my OBS is still acting a little crazy, so let me reset like my camera. Like, it'll take like 5 seconds.
For sure.
All right. I don't know why it's doing that, but
it looked fine on this end. What happened?
It's like flashing over and over again really fast. But
okay, right.
I don't know. Hopefully, it's not messing with people. But
I mean, Joseph says you got the 8K camera.
I am going to put out a video that's about this, and I'm going to do some more research on it. But I'm in a group chat, and we basically were talking about how Jason Garrett. We've been playing against Jason Garrett's offense the past 15 years. Part of it was another offense because he stopped calling plays. But for a while, we saw Jason Garrett's offense. And what we see is not Jason Garrett's offense. People say it's outdated. This is not what he was running. This is not what he was running in Dallas. And it makes you think he's doing this because the head coach is telling him to be more conservative, because the head coach is the type of head coach, and it fits with Joe Judge's message.
His vocabulary.
Exactly.
His vocabulary says smart, hard-nosed. He's never said old school, but he implies old school football.
No, he said old school football.
Oh, he said it before? Okay, then that.
And the thing is, it goes exactly with what Joe Judge will want, which is no turnovers, very conservative. We drove down the field the first drive, and we had a chance at a 55-yard field goal, and he didn't kick it. How many times do you see the Giants? They're inside the 40-yard line, and this isn't me going on a rant saying Joe Judge needs to go and I hate Joe Judge, because that's not the case. But how many times have we been inside the 40-yard line and we just line up like we're going to run a play, and we've never once ran that play and gone for it on fourth down? It doesn't seem like he's an aggressive coach when it comes to offense. Now, when it comes to I'm going to be aggressive and let my punt team out there, that's when he gets really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that he's telling Jason Garrett to make this as conservative as possible because at the end of the day, the head coach sets the tone for the offense and the defense. We can't sit here and say that the defense is playing at this high level because Joe Judge is, inspiring them. But the offense has nothing to do with Joe Judge. It's the same thing that Jason Garrett is getting treated the same way that people treat Dave Gettleman. When it's something good, Joe Judge gets credit. When it's something bad, Joe Judge gets no blame. And I'm just saying there's no way. Joe Judge is a very hands-on guy, and the whole Giants way and the Joe Judge and Patriots way is let your
I was about to ask
coordinators-
you. I mean, because not we, as in me and you, or me with anybody specifically, but it's been out there for a while now that the quote unquote Patriots way was what Joe Judge running. But I think this is something different.
I mean,
This is something different.
my thing is he basically comes from a tree, and this organization comes from a tree where they let the offensive coordinator kind of do their own thing. But at the same time, no head coach in the NFL is just completely not aware of
Not
what
involved
the
with
game
anything
plan
with the
is.
offense.
The head coach puts together a game plan with the offensive and defensive coordinators. And obviously our game plan is not to attack deep down the field. Now, when you talk about the play design, that's something I criticize Garrett about. I just dropped a video today where I like some of the plays that he did. But when you talk about the play design, especially last year, that's something that I definitely blame on Jason Garrett because that's design. And that's even different from the Cowboys. But, I mean, he's had time to think about it, and maybe that's how he thinks winning football is going to be played today. Or maybe he changes these plays, and that's the only thing he can come up with that he believes is conservative. But I was also just talking about this before I jumped in here. How many times have you seen Daniel Jones throw an interception that was more than 20 yards downfield? Have you ever
You talking
seen
about recently?
Have you ever seen that? An interception
Actually,
that was more than 20 yards.
you mean? No, I don't think I can't name one that's like a deep interception. Actually,
He does not take chances downfield. And when Eli was throwing interceptions deep downfield, we're like, okay, he threw an interception, but we took a chance, and it changes field position. If you throw a deep interception, the team actually has to drive the length of the field. Daniel Jones throws 5, 6 yard, 7-yard interceptions routinely because we don't go down the field. So every time we throw an interception or every time he fumbles, obviously, the team has that they have the ball in our own territory. So we have, I mean, I'm just going to say this. I fully believe that this is also on Judge, this conservative way of playing offense. The play design is a different thing, but the philosophy of not going deep and the philosophy of not making big plays and taking chances, I think that's Joe Judge.
and before we go on, Mark, as a Dallas fan, he says one of the biggest issues we had in Dallas was run on first down 90% of the time. He wants long drives to kill the clock to help the defense.
I agree with that. Every single first down we run. I often on stream, if you like clipped a whole bunch of my stream and like watch when I was watching plays, I usually say exactly when we're going to run. I'm like, we're going to run the ball here. We all know that. But as far as, like I said, the overall philosophy, I think is Joe Judge.
Yeah, and I see Edward says Daniel doesn't trust himself anymore because he turns the ball over at worst moments.
He knows his coaches don't trust him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and this is just like how the plays we're calling and what we're actually putting on paper to put on the field is both Judge and Garrett. Now, when we move to on the field, when we move to actually doing it on the field, it's on not Judge, Garrett and Jones. Because for me, and I didn't really start thinking this until a couple of days ago after I had conversations with a couple people that are telling me don't blame just Jason Garrett for the offensive woes. They were like, you got to give some of that to Daniel as well. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right, because maybe he isn't taking a shot to Galladay. And the sad part is we don't got any all 22, so we can't exactly go in and confirm or deny this right now.
I got some coming soon.
Got some coming soon. However soon is. But as right now, we can't do that. So part of me is assuming maybe he isn't taking shots. But we also know once again that this is also on the game plan. So I'm putting blame on like 3 people, bro.
I'll tell you something while you're saying that, and I just want to say it because I want it to be brought up at this point. I did get a chance to see the all 22 tape. I was able to grab it, and Daniel Jones missed a lot of plays. He missed a lot of plays. Uh, it wasn't. Let me say not a lot of plays, but Daniel Jones had
A couple.
opportunities to go
Okay.
down the field. Sterling Shepard on a sluggo route was wide open. Um, Another time, Sterling Shepard ran another sluggo route and he got grabbed and there was no pass interference. And that was the play where not only didn't he throw it, in the area of the guy that was breaking open, he threw it to Devontae Booker and he had to make a one-handed catch. So
That was that play?
yeah, that on that play that he threw it to Devontae Booker, he never looked at Sterling Shepard's side.
I'll say this. Obviously, it's
And
on the refs for not throwing the flag, but if he did throw the flag, did throw the ball in that direction and draws more attention to it,
it
and
would have
maybe there
gotten
would
the
have been a
flag
flag.
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, continue. Whatever else. What other shots do you see? Any other players that were involved that we know can make a deep catch?
One thing I'll say is that was pretty much the only thing I saw as far as that. Another couple of times you could say like he could have thrown it to Galladay, but they looked like design quick reads, like he was supposed to throw it to someone. Other than that, I would say that his ball placement, especially when you see it from the all 22, wasn't that good. There was a couple of times, of course, the Devontae Booker one. I had another one in my head. He had another time where someone could have ran a while and he just put the ball in the wrong spot and they basically weren't able to do anything after the catch, which goes back to last year. Even though we didn't have the best receivers, a lot of times those passes weren't in spots where they could catch the ball and keep running.
Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says the Denver Donkeys didn't win anything because they were better than us. We lost the game because of coaches, bad calls, and lack of efforts. I'm going to agree with, I guess, most of that. Listen, not yesterday. 2 days ago, Denver was the team that put the better product on the field. They certainly outcoached us, in my opinion, in every single phase of the game. They outcoached us, even special teams, where the Giants made so many late cuts based on special teams, and I was unsatisfied with what we saw from. You guys remember? Was it the first Denver punt or the second one that could have been stopped right at the 1 yard line, but whoever we had down there just kind of let it go through the end zone?
Exactly. And the
first thing that came to mind, I was like, oh, we made all these cuts for what then?
And that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't focus on that if we didn't decide to keep two fullbacks because they're both football players. If we didn't decide to keep all of these guys at the bottom of the roster because they're good special teamers. Listen, our special teams was good yesterday, but they better be elite. That's all I'm saying, because we put a lot of resources in the special teams. And, just the fact that we have two fullbacks, I'm not going to – until we get a winning record, I'm going to keep bringing that up every week.
Yeah. Marjorie is on Daniel saying his situational awareness is bad at times. All the things we talk about with Daniel, we've been talking about since his rookie year, which is a problem for me. I tweeted out earlier on Twitter. I was like, I'm not done with Daniel Jones yet, the keyword being yet, but I am done with like the fumbling and the costly turnovers. I'm already done with that. You know what I mean? And all it took was for that one fumble. And yes, I know he was having a good drive, but the story of Daniel Jones consistently is he makes good plays until he doesn't.
Listen,
and you can't have that at quarterback. And nobody better call me a hater, because I was like one of his biggest supporters over the past 2 years on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I was constantly called a Daniel Jones homer.
Until we get until we get an elite quarterback with this offense and this philosophy that we're running, we're not going to be able to do anything unless we have an elite quarterback. It's just that simple. Excuse me. It's just that simple. We're not going to be able to get anything done because if your defense is bend but don't break, and me and Thing had a great conversation over on my channel after the game. If our defense does not complement our offense well, and our offense does not complement our defense well, because our defensive philosophy is bend but don't break. So that means teams are going to have a bunch of 12 play, bunch of 10 play plus drives. Even when we're doing well, we give up field goals, but they're still on long drives. So you're limiting the opportunities that your offense has, and your offense is trying to put together 10, 15 play drives. There's not enough time for you to get the ball back. How are we going to get to 30 points if we're constantly
bending, drives, right, and we're allowing offenses to drive down?
Exactly. We don't have enough times to get the ball. So once you see Daniel Jones fumble, it means that much more. Him fumbling once is like turning the ball over 3 times because we just don't have enough at-bats. Just like you see Lamar Jackson, I think he fumbled twice yesterday and lost it. They were still in the game because they got the ball back and he's making deep throws down.
They
the
have
field.
they have a very vertical offense.
He's making deep throws down the field and he's running down the field. So as long as we can't have an offense where we're playing ball control football and we're not making any plays. I mean, we can't turn the ball. We can't afford to turn the ball over. It doesn't work that way.
And Sedan Smith, I see you in the chat. I see you getting on Garrett. I agree with you. I mean, none of us right now between me and Diggy are for Jason Garrett for this team. We don't like him. But I will say he definitely could have called a couple more plays where Gali was like the first read. It almost reminds me of last year when we still believed in Slayton and we were like, where is he? And he was like the last read on every throw. Like, yes, you could call a play that uses your number one receiver better. And he should have done that, in my opinion. But yet it still goes back to part of that, still goes back to what Diggy mentioned earlier, where Daniel is missing a couple of these opportunities to go deep, whether it was Gali or not. And it also goes back to what he briefly got into with the philosophy of this team might be more Joe Judge than Jason Garrett, because we've seen Jason Garrett use Des Bryant, for example, extremely well. You know, when he's had number one receivers, he's used them extremely well. It is one game. We'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, you got something else before I pop in the first caller?
Okay. Can you highlight the T6 comment?
TC? Wasn't Jameis putting up like 5,000 yards before?
Jameis, I would say the perfect comparison for Daniel Jones is Jameis Winston.
Really?
Daniel Jones needs to be
a completely different production.
Where he takes it's not even about, just look at his rookie year. I mean,
the
yards weren't there, but everything else is there. Daniel Jones is a big play type of quarterback. He's a boom or bust quarterback. And the Giants have taken away the boom because they're trying to avoid the bust. Imagine if you put Jameis Winston in this offense and told him to make 7-yard throw after 7-yard throw after 7-yard throw. Eventually, I mean, some guys are just goofy, just plain and simple. Eventually, Jameis Winston, eventually Daniel Jones is going to fumble the ball. They're going to make a stupid throw. It's just going to happen. I mean, you don't.
I've said this before on Twitter and on the Sunday pain stream where I was like, I don't like that we're making Daniel into a dink and dunk quarterback, or at least the offense we're running right now is kind of forcing him to be that, when his best asset is the exact opposite of dink and dunk.
They want him to be Tom Brady.
They want him to be year one Dak Prescott.
No, they want him to be Tom Brady.
But Tom Brady takes shots.
This is different than Dak Prescott.
Tom Brady can sling it, though. Like, he slings it.
I'm saying they want him to be Tom Brady on the Patriots. They want him to be Tom Brady. They want him to make, because yes, Tom Brady takes his, he takes his shots, and he did push the ball down the field. But if Bill Belichick could have it his way, Tom Brady would be playing like this. Tom Brady audibled out of those plays a lot, and Josh McDaniels is a better offensive coordinator. But when you actually have crossers, you can dink and dunk because guys are going to get yards after the catch. But I mean, they want him to be a surgical elite quarterback that makes no mistakes, that puts together 15-play drives. And that's not realistic. I mean, if you look at pretty much every young quarterback, I just can't see many young quarterbacks being able to succeed in this. And either way, it's third year. I'm still going to hold him accountable. I already said 6 games in, I'm not going to be making any excuses for him. I'm really not at this point, but I'll really be off of that train. You're going to see my video 100% of me saying I've stepped away from Daniel Jones. If at week 6 he still looks like this, I don't care who's calling the plays or what the philosophy is.
All right, with that being said, let me get the first caller on. Is Bobby ready? Bobby's asleep.
Oh, no, he's sleeping.
That man's passed out, bro. He's not. All right, then.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yo, Logan, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I was watching Lombardi's stream the other day, and it like 5 of his callers were just snoring on the phone.
This man was gone, bro. Yo, he took that night, bro. He took the whole bottle of NyQuil, bro. Yo, Logan, there's either background noise or echo, bro. What's up with it?
Is it are you here? Is it one sec. Is my audio coming through my headset? Let me see. All right, is it good now?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's the background. You good though? You good?
Let's just cut to the chase. This Thursday is a must-win game.
Yeah, real quick, bro. I saw this too, bro. He went to bars. Goddamn, yo. I'm sorry. That's hilarious. But go ahead though. Yeah. Logan, this Thursday, bro.
Let's be honest. Let's just cut to the chase. This Thursday is a must-win game.
Mm-hmm.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I agree. I didn't want to start 0-1. Well, nobody wants to start 0-1. But I'm gonna be honest. All right, I see a lot of people out there, a lot of fans, a lot of content creators saying that if we go 0-2, that we really shouldn't hop off the train. I'm sorry if I'm not necessarily hopping off the train, but I'm like 90% done if we're 0-2, bro.
90%.
The last time any team had a good season off of 0-2 was us in 2007, bro.
All right, speaking
That's
of
not
2007,
happening.
I'm not going to call out anyone by name, but I've heard people say that the reason we're going to be good this year is because when the Giants go 0-2, we win the Super Bowl.
Oh,
I'm like,
boy.
are you on crack?
What about 10 out of the last 11 games, bro?
Giants
I'm
fans
like-
have got to be the most. I mean, listen, like I said, I reposted that thing and I said, Giants fans that say keep doubting us, we're going to prove the haters wrong, are the same
Yes.
thing as Cowboys fans saying this is our year.
Oh my-
It's the exact same thing. Every year, Giants fans are like surveying all of the articles and the TV shows saying, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna prove them wrong. This is what we always do."
People
And then
be watching America's
Then they
game.
post the video of the prognosticators in
From
2007.
2007, man.
If you look at their batting average for saying that the Giants will be trash, they're usually right.
Oh shit. So what?
Yeah, Logan, go ahead, man.
I was.
Are you good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I was just gonna say, what do you think the game plan should be for this Thursday? I say pound the rock because, in my opinion, Washington's front seven is built for the pass, so we should run the ball a lot. But I want your guys' opinions on that.
Well, I'll admit I didn't get to watch the entire Washington game. Diggy, did you get to catch the entire thing?
No, I was just watching Red Zone.
I didn't get to catch it. So I've heard. All right, I'm gonna have to go and I guess take a look somewhere on a not so legal stream to see what's up with it. I heard that their secondary was bad, which is obviously a
William
good thing
Jackson
for us.
looked good.
That was the only player I heard that had a good game in their
Our
secondary.
whole team was bad, bro.
Granted,
Well,
but that's
basically-
a plus for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
could
I
tell
also
you what
heard
happened
that-
in the game.
Oh, go ahead. What you said?
William Jackson looked good. Their pass rush didn't look bad.
No,
but
their pass rush wasn't
had-
bad. It was just
They
that the
had
Chargers.
no effect on the game.
Yeah, the Chargers effectively game plan for it. I think on almost every throw, Herbert had under 2 seconds. He
Keenan
got rid
Allen.
of the ball in under 2 seconds.
Basically, nobody could cover Keenan Allen.
Mhm.
They kept driving. They went up and down the field like it was nothing. And a couple of times, I think Mike Williams dropped a touchdown. Justin Herbert threw that red zone interception. But if the Chargers had scored every time in the red zone, it would have been a blowout. But they basically successfully did what we tried to do yesterday and didn't give up a bunch of touchdowns.
Real quick, I do want to say, Marjorie, I agree with you because Kyle Rudolph, I'll eat crow on that. I was wrong on this man, at least for week 1. He looked like some garbage, except for when he was blocking a little bit. But I was surprised we didn't involve Kaden Smith more. She says he was one of the best run blocking tight ends in the NFL, given an 84.3 run blocking grade by PFF, second among all tight ends in the league, and he could catch too. I mean, we saw it in the last preseason game that he can catch. So I just want to put that out there. We should definitely involve him a bit more if Ingram is still not a go for Thursday, which I guess we'll find out tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew this. I saw this on Twitter. PFF graded Andrew Thomas as the highest rated pass blocker last week.
I mean, he went
I
against.
told y'all don't worry about
Can
it.
anybody name the guy that he went against? I
He
mean,
led the guy he went against led the Broncos in sacks in the 2020 regular season, bro.
and who else was on the team? How many sacks did he have?
I think it was like 8 or 9.
Oh God,
Bro,
Who let
why
that
you
dude
doubting
get 89
Thomas, bro?
sacks, man?
Listen, he is Chase Young's father.
I mean, listen, there's no Washington fans, so I can actually talk freely here because they won't have this ammunition. But Chase Young was getting double and triple team that whole game. He was never one-on-one with him.
I will say this.
Let's be honest. Andrew Thomas is Myles Garrett's dad. That's it.
Well, Miles Garrett was
He's sick,
was on
Myles
COVID
Garrett.
watch,
I was
bro,
making
yeah.
a joke, bro.
I know, but I'll say this: going back to the Chargers, if the Giants want a game plan to win, literally do in terms of negating the pass rush, what the Chargers did. The Chargers took care of the Washington pass rush really well. Does anybody have a number on how many times Justin Herbert got sacked? I'm gonna see if I could find it right now.
I think it was 2.
2 times he got sacked,
Yeah.
right?
I
Once
think
again,
he
it
had
was
like
yeah.
2 sacks and 3 pressures.
That's really good. 2 pressures?
I mean, it was because he was literally throwing it pretty much as soon as the play started. I mean,
Justin Herbert might also be the next Patrick Mahomes. So
the Giants aren't going to do that. We're not going to be able to use their game plan. I'm just going to tell you that plain and simple. First of all, we don't have the personnel. Well, we do have the personnel.
I was about to say we do have the personnel.
We definitely have the personnel because I feel like Sterling Shepard could be the Keenan Allen role, and Kenny Galladay is better than Mike Williams. He's not going to drop touchdowns, but we don't have the quarterback and we don't have the offense to do that. I mean, Jason I'll just have to see it to believe it. He's not going to get people that open quickly.
Instead of Logan midlife crisis mode, it's Diggy midlife crisis mode.
You know what's funny though? Like
the Giants,
Broncos actually converted a bunch of 3rd and 4th downs running our offense, running curl routes, and I really think Pat Shermer was trolling us. I really think he was trolling us because how do you practice against curl routes all off season and you can't stop it week 1? I'm
gonna just continue to say what I said, which is there's 3 people to blame for our offensive woes: head coach,
the whole
offensive
team,
coordinator, and Daniel Jones. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says all championship caliber teams are about ownership, management, coaching, training, and prep. So the entire football process. The players are just the pieces of the puzzle. No, I don't mean to say that. I want to clarify. I don't want to say that in like a mocking way, but like that's basically the entire football process. You know what I'm saying? Tudo's my guy. He knows I don't mean it that way. But Tudo, that's basically the entire football process, right? Like, am I wrong here?
Well, I think he was saying that the players don't matter as much as everything else. That's what it looks like he's saying.
Mm-hmm. And Tudo, from what I remember him commenting in a lot of streams, is that he's very high on coaches and how coaches use the players. But
we don't have. I mean, Joe Judge is very good. Listen, I'm going to talk about this until I see like Joe Judge redeem himself. But Joe Judge is very good at giving speeches, and he's good at all of the other things. Like he's good during the week and during practice. But I mean, during the game, I haven't seen anything that makes me think that this dude is some elite god that every Giants fan talks about him being. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. But
my guy challenged a scoring play.
Like that's true though, so that's what you meant. Got it.
That was a Hugh Jackson moment. Let's be honest, bro.
No, that right there. Actually, when I saw it on Sunday, I got really angry.
I would take Hugh Jackson as offensive coordinator.
You guys, I have a reaction video to that game, and I went over that segment. You will die laughing when you see what I said about that. Kush is monetized, so I'm not going to say it on your stream because I have respect for you.
But no, when I saw that tweet, he was like, I was trying to get the referee's attention. I'm like, you throw a challenge flag? What?
I mean, I would have rather him gotten like an unnecessary, like a penalty for like cursing at the ref.
Some dude in the chat just said, I'm Daniel Jones and welcome to Jackass.
Oh, that's Sajid, bro. Yo, Sajid is somebody that has strong feelings, but he won't call in and express them. Is what I'll say. Logan, what else you got, man?
I don't know about you guys, but I think we got to unleash Barkley this Thursday. What do you guys
define unleash?
We tried to unleash him last week.
No, we didn't. We gave him 10 carries, bro. We gave him 10 carries.
What did that amount to?
Huh? We gave him 10 carries.
When I say
listen, I think we could all agree he's a dude, that one-hit dude, right? So I mean, what does he average? You know, if we take out all his big runs.
Saquon, I mean literally use this guy like 80% of the game. We have to run the ball against this team. It's the only way we can beat them.
I mean, all we need to do is look at what we did the past 4 times we faced them, and see what's happening.
Basically, just show up. Just show up.
Like running the ball is part of it, and actually, let me just ask you two about that. What are you expecting from Saquon this game?
I think for us to beat Washington, he has to at least have 80+ yards rushing.
I'm not expecting anything from Saquon. I mean, listen,
my guy's a Saquon hater.
I don't know if Bobby from Talking Giants already uploaded his video breaking that stuff down, but I got to see it before he uploaded it. He made a good point in that video that one of those plays, Saquon completely missed a wide open hole because he's still rusty. He hasn't played in a year, and he's not getting that much help So when the holes are there, he basically has to play exactly like Daniel Jones. He can't make any mistakes, or it's going to look like he had a horrible game.
He also tripped when he had a lane.
Well,
Like I said, I think that comes with the rust and stuff. I also think he was playing a bit scared. Like he didn't really want to go behind his offensive line.
I think the breakout game is going to be Atlanta, or I don't think it'll be this week. I just don't think
it's just been 4 days. You know what I'm saying?
Like I just don't think like people are saying that he looked hesitant and he looked this and that. I don't think so, but I just don't see it.
I mean, if we
can throw the ball against them,
it doesn't have to be Saquon, but in my opinion, if we don't run the ball effectively this Thursday, we're not going to win.
And I want to bring that before I get the super chat. That was one of the things I was kind of annoyed with. I'm like, all right, if you're going to limit Saquon to 10 carries, which is exactly what they did, why didn't you involve Booker and Brightwell more than you actually did? And I guess part of that was, the offense was off the field for so long. So by the time they got back on the field, it was like you had to pass. But still, you know what I'm saying?
By the time the offense got back in the field, there was like 3 seconds left in the game.
Yeah. And like I said, the defense, they need some adjustments too, bro. And Patrick Graham needs to adjust as well. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, keep in mind, Bradley Chubb wasn't playing last Sunday. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any scores on the board.
My God.
I mean, that's exactly what Diggy was saying.
Bradley
He can't name the Broncos sack leader of 2020.
I can't. I definitely can. And you can't either.
Bro, I know his initials, bro.
What's his name? What's his initials?
The first one is an M.
That's not his initials.
Hold up, MW. MW. Let me look this man up, bro. Broncos depth chart, real quick. Who's listed right behind Chubb?
Andrew Thomas got a week off, man.
David Mayo. Oh my
He got a week off.
Yo, where's Von Miller? Malik Reed. I was right.
He got a week off, man.
Come on now, bro. Logan, let me get your last thoughts before I pop you. I'm gonna check in on Bobby, otherwise Bark Nasty is up next.
No, but thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking to you guys. I went from depression to just laughing at this point. So that's basically it.
It's one of the best ways of coping, bro.
We're gonna win the game. I'm not worried at all.
I mean, it is Washington. We basically could beat them by just blinking at them.
I mean, it's Washington. Like
you guys are so confident, bro.
I mean, it's not even about confidence. It's just reality. I'm not scared of Washington.
After what we showed on Sunday,
I'm not scared of Washington. I don't care what we showed on Sunday.
Oh my God!
I mean,
give me a score prediction for this Thursday, bro.
I'm gonna say Giants win 10-6.
Let's put this in perspective. Do you really believe that the Giants are as bad as what you saw?
No, I don't. But the point I'm gonna make is, if they had months and months to come up with that game plan and with no halftime adjustments, is what it seemed like, why should I be confident that 4 days is enough for them to come up with something else?
I was looking at I was listening to Big Blue Kickoff Live today, and they actually referenced the Eli and Peyton broadcast, where they both just basically laughed at the whole idea of halftime adjustments. They said you go to the locker room, you use the bathroom, you have a snack, and the coaches come into the locker room and say, hey, we're going to run these plays, and we're going to go back out there. And then they warm up. They literally are there for like 2 minutes. So the whole halftime adjustment thing seems like it's more of a media fan thing. And I'm just not. I'm going
to ask you this. Do you really think it doesn't exist? Like, are you telling me from the thousands and thousands of NFL games you've watched, a team hasn't come out with a different game plan than what they went into the half with before?
No,
I think that they already had that planned before the game, and they said if this happens, then we'll go with this plan. But they don't like draw up an entirely new game plan. They just don't do that.
No. That's why it's not called halftime game plan. It's called adjustment.
Well, no, I'm saying the narrative is that like the coaches come out with a completely different plan after halftime. But what was I gonna say? Basically,
Daniel Jones is trash.
The thing what happened on Sunday was more about the team just not playing well. Not to say that Denver isn't a better team than us, at the end of the season or something, but the team didn't play well. Blake Martinez was missing tackles. That never happens. James Bradbury was lost in coverage. When have you seen that happen?
James Bradbury.
Dory got toasted by KJ a couple times.
James Bradbury looks like Josh Norman.
No, that was actually that was
McKinney.
Actually, that was
Yo, just ignore it, bro. Just ignore it.
First off, Adoree didn't get toasted. That was actually Xavier McKinney.
That's what I'm saying, McKinney. Okay, then.
Yeah, like basically,
I still think that coaching has a lot to do with it, man.
after looking at the All 22, I do not blame Patrick Graham for that. I mean, I don't. If you look at the first half,
What are you doing?
if you look at the first half, we were playing cover 2. What is cover 2? It limits the passes over the middle of the field. It limits the short passes. We played cover 2 that whole first half. Blake Martinez. Can I?
Yo, you have to say it, bro.
Can I?
Why
Listen,
you
I'm
gotta
telling you,
say
you need to play that. Next time you have Pest on the channel, you need to play that like a
Can
WWE.
I?
You need to play it like a WWE theme song.
Next time I have it on, I'm gonna do that, bro. But yeah, finish your thoughts so I can pop log it out. I gotta get Yuri's super chat, and then we're gonna get Bark Nasty on.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate it.
Basically,
No problem, bro. Have a good one.
Basically, the cover 2 we played was to stop exactly what they were doing. And Blake Martinez and Xavier McKinney kept giving up passes in the cover 2. They kept giving up passes in the cover 2. They were lost in coverage. And then Patrick Graham tried to make an adjustment and say, we're not going to give up those passes anymore because the zone isn't working. So he went to man. And then this guy, Jabril Peppers, couldn't cover anybody. And man.
Oh, he had a bad game.
So
He had a
if
really
your
bad
cover
game.
2 zone isn't working. That's built to literally stop the offense they were running. And then you're not able to play man coverage. I mean, what else do you expect him to do? He can't get out there and play defense for them. So I was mad at Patrick Graham before, but now after seeing the All 22, I really don't think it was his fault.
Okay. Benny, you're right after Bark Nasty, by the way. Shout out to Yuri for the $5 super chat. He says, we drafted Ojulari with the 50th pick. Washington picked Cosme with the 51st pick. Excited to see that matchup. Bosa, well, first of all, Bosa's a beast. Of course, he's going to bully the rookie tackle Cosme. I will say this, and this is something me and Diggy also spoke about off air. While I'm 100% glad that Aziz got his first sack, I mean, the dude was completely ineffective for like majority of the game, which I'm not going to harp on him for because he's a rookie, but I did expect a little bit more. I don't know.
He's not better than Zimenez right now. Being honest, when you see Zimenez rush the passer and you see Ojulari do it, it looks like night and day. And Ojulari, I mean, first off, I think Ojulari relied a lot on his strength in college. And every time I see him try to bull rush somebody and turn that into a move, they don't move. Like he doesn't push anybody. So I'm just saying, I think he's
is the thing I think we all said in the draft process. We're like, he'd be really great if he develops a second move. Like
it's not even about yeah. Like he has moves, but even his best moves were about power. And he doesn't have that same power now. So maybe it'll work against Cosme because he's a rookie, but I just haven't seen anything from him to say it like I've seen all the other edge rushers flash. I've seen Owe flash. I've seen Joe Tryon flash. I've seen even Greg Rousseau flash in the preseason.
Well, Greg Rousseau listened to what everybody said and then worked on everything, man.
Exactly. He actually took the criticism that people. Yeah.
Shout out to Logan for coming on, and Ash Money is in here as well. Before I pop up, I'm just gonna get a couple of these. He says, Mark Primetime, I love watching Eli and Payne on Monday Night Football, way more better than the Monday Night Football announcers. I agree, but also that game was crazy.
That was a great game.
Is this the best opening week in like recent memory?
The two primetime games, definitely the best combination of two primetime games for the opening week. Definitely.
So G said, let's blame Jason Garrett, not Patrick Graham, for playing soft sell and letting Shermer steal his lunch money.
Exactly. The soft part of the defense was bad. When they started playing that was bad. And I just how can you watch that game and be typing in the chat, oh, I hate Jason Garrett? I understand it, but at the same time, the defense lost us that game. Plain and simple.
Shout out to Lewin here as well. So the order since Big Play Slay asked, so it's Bark Nasty next, then Benny, then Cresley, then you, Big Play Slay. What up, man? How you doing, bro?
Yo, how you guys doing, man?
We're good.
Yo, so I just hope Giants fans got their seatbelts on because we're about to be in a highway rollover.
Oh, nah.
Hey, you saw what I just posted. on Twitter, show me a win. And I'm being for real. Show me a win up until week 12.
Mhm.
Carolina's not a gimme. I've got maybe Atlanta. So if we don't beat Washington on Thursday, I've got us, 1-9, 2-9, going into the last 8 games of the season. I mean, it's I think I don't want to get too overboard, but I was listening to Nate yesterday on your stream. I know he's a younger Giants fan, but it's not just one game. It's the same team over and over and over again, starting off 0-1, 0-2. We're rotten from the top down. And I'll be honest with you, I did it myself. I think there's even a chance that we significantly overrated our defense. Not just overrated Joe Judge and had that, love for him, but Patrick Graham, look at our wins last year. We played a lot of backup quarterbacks, a lot of bad teams. I don't know. I'm real. You guys know I was never a Garrett guy. I was blaming him last year. I've been a Jones defender, and even that is starting to go out the window because you just can't. As this year goes, if he doesn't step up, it's over. I'm going to be honest. I'm broke. I need to see something on Thursday because at this point, I'll be honest with you, I'm expecting a 3 to 4 win season, 2 top 10 draft picks with that Bears pick too, and I fully expect us to be making a move for a quarterback and for some offensive line help come this offseason. Me personally, they've got Thursday to show me something, to show me that week 1. Because I don't see a lot of wins. If you could show me some wins, I'd be interested to hear what your guys' opinions are. I don't see more than 3 wins.
So I'm gonna let Diggy go first, but before you go, Diggy, the one part I really do strongly agree with you, Bark, is what I said earlier, is that if we open up 0-2, I don't feel like anybody should really blame me for having no type of confidence because of the history of the last 11 years till we start 0-2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we start off 0-2, I'm going to be completely demoralized. And, of course, I'm going to still be cheering for the team basically until we're mathematically eliminated.
Of course.
In the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, this is the last 10 years. But
this isn't about being behind the team. We're all behind the team, but we can be behind the team and recognize that we're cheering for garbage. I mean, you know what I mean? But go, yeah.
Well, 3 things popped in my head. The first one, just as quick, is I don't ever tell anybody how to root for their team. So even fans that root for their team to tank, how do we police how people are fans? How can we tell someone if they're a fan?
I mean, if you got a superiority complex, I guess.
2, the thing is, every time the Giants win a game, when we won against the Seahawks, Giants fans were saying that we were going to go to the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs. When we lose against another team, all of a sudden, every team looks like something that's impossible to beat. So I'm not really going to say that if we lose to Washington, that we're just out of it and that we have no shot. Because, I usually try to give the team the first quarter of the season before I start to make those kinds of decisions. Because, first of all, it depends how we play against Washington. If we go out and it's a defensive game, because Washington's defense shows up, who both of our fan bases started saying that both of our defenses will be top 7 or top 6.
I'm kind of convinced maybe we both overhyped them a lot.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But if both of those defenses show up on Thursday and they look like dominant defenses and it's a low-scoring game and we lose the game in a close, low-scoring game, is our entire season over in a 17-game season? Because now 0-2 is the same thing as 0-1. So I just don't know if we can say the entire season is over. My barometer has always been, if we go into Atlanta and we look like we're evenly matched with Atlanta, or we are going to lose to Atlanta.
Are you saying what Shazir saying too in terms of quarterback play?
What did you say?
He says if DJ looks pedestrian against Atlanta, he's worse than Hurts.
At this point, listen. Last year, if you would have asked me before all of this stuff starts, listen, Jalen Hurts is a good player. He makes plays. He's a good player. I've always thought he was a good player. either way, I don't really like to compare how someone did against the defense and how somebody else did against the defense because that's not how football works. But if Daniel Jones and the New York Giants lose to Atlanta or look like they're evenly matched and they're a bad team with Atlanta, at that point, your season is over because they're going to be picking top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mark, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you kind of, well, in terms of before I actually ask you this, in terms of reassuring him that we can go 1-1, D, you're the only person on here that's so confident, bro. You gotta explain to us what's up with that.
We're going to beat Washington. I mean, first off, they've never really shown me anything that just says that they've been able to be dominant against the run. Even if Saquon Barkley isn't 100%, I do think our offensive line will get back to running the football. And if they don't do that, I think this game, too, is the first game that you'll actually start to see an effort to get Kenny Golladay to football because they were playing a lot of 2 safety deep coverages, and their safeties are so good that they can make up a lot of space quickly. So Washington, they have Cam Curl, and whatever Washington fans tell you, Cam Curl is not as good as the safeties that are in Denver. So I'm not worried about them being able to get away with basically play everybody in the box and play deep at the same time because they were that good. I'm not worried about that. I'm just not worried about them being able to play us just straight up like that and stop the run, even with Devontae Booker. And if they, for some reason, let Saquon get anything going, they're not going to be able to win that game because when Saquon gets going against the Washington football team,
he has his best games against Washington and first half Philadelphia.
Every single time. And then when you look at Golladay and when you look at Shep, I don't think there's an answer for them. And I don't think that Washington is as good of a team that we hype them up to be all offseason. They have a journeyman playing quarterback for them.
No, they have Taylor Haneke.
That's what I'm saying. They have a journeyman back up to another journeyman playing football for them. They have Curtis Samuel on IR. Terry McLaurin is the only guy they have. Diami Brown is a rookie who had less yards than Kadarius Toney. And Kadarius Toney had -2 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diami Brown had -2 or -3. So either way, that's their number 2 guy. Cam Sims is there. There's not a lot there on offense. So we can get away with playing Washington the way that our team is set up because we did it twice last year.
No, I agree 100%. I definitely agree. They never scare me. I'm sure Philly feels the same way about us. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And I think, to be honest, I think we're very equal teams. I feel like it's a very level playing field. I've got 50-50 going into that game. I think there's a chance we were both significantly overhyped going into this season and that Philly was really thrown in the dumps. Just goes to show you what, how much people make out of these pressers, with Sirianni, and everybody's worried about press conferences instead of coaching. And speaking of that, I was going to ask you guys about that. Is anybody else concerned with these fools we've got going up and apparently being honest? I was hoping it was a ploy, a scheme. These guys going up.
You don't even have to finish. I know what you're going to say, bro.
It's obviously real. And did you guys, I'm assuming you saw today, they did it again.
Real quick, shout out to Engraven for tuning in here. Put an F in the chat for Engraven's Ravens. They lost in a terrible way last night.
Joe Judge goes today. He goes to reporters and says, I expect the Washington defense to make more plays and to be more consistent against us. I bet you do with that offense we've been watching. I bet you do. I
literally retweeted that with saying, I don't know how to feel about my head coach basically saying our offense is going to take what the opposing defense is giving us. I
don't put no effort.
I don't want that.
I don't know. I just think that kind of stuff's crazy. I mean, that is actually concerning now.
What you got for that, Diggy?
I mean, like I said, I believe the light in Joe Judge, and I liked his leadership style. As like someone in my career, I literally studied leadership and people in those leadership positions. So I liked everything he was doing, but I can't really I'm not a football coach, so I don't know how that leadership translates specifically to on the field. So in the offseason, it looks like he's doing a great job. If we could win the practice off-season stuff, I think Joe Judge will be the greatest coach of all time. I really do. But once you get into the regular season and you like pride yourself on making sure you know everything was going on and you're not calling any plays and you still don't know the rules to the game, I mean, what's going on, man? And then you come out in the press conference and you won't talk about injuries. You won't make any comments on Daniel Jones when you.
But
first
you say the offense, nothing's gonna
Like,
change about the offense, basically.
I don't really have any issue with that because I've seen Bill Belichick do that and just say like, "Oh yeah, this offense is gonna make a lot of plays against us." Like that's just like a tactic they just do. But the problem I have is that Joe Judge says that this is going to be a tic-tac. He says, I forgot exactly the words that he used, but he essentially said, we're going to have to dink and dunk against Washington. So you're giving them your game plan before you even start practicing this week.
And when we beat Washington, we always look the best offensively as well. So I'm like, nah, don't dink and dunk against them. What are you talking about? And of course, we wouldn't even be kind of taking this a little bit at face value if what happened week 1 didn't happen. Because I don't know, I was one of the dudes that thought they were pulling the wool over our eyes when Galladay and Garrett said, oh, it's gonna be slow, but then it actually turned out to be really slow, and I was just like, wow. And I'm not talking about just play calling. I look back at the highlights, and I'm just like, why are our offensive players actually moving slow, like pace wise? It was so weird. You know what I mean?
Kadarius Toney, I defended him all season, but for now, he doesn't. Either he's not healthy or he can't be healthy. The player that I saw in college, even on that one swing pass that he caught, that does not look like. Is this the same dude?
Because you remember that too. We got told he was going to be could potentially be significant part of the game plan. 2 plays.
That was a
get
lie.
Out of here.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that. But I mean, he was 1-on-1 with the corner, and he just ran right into him. Like, is that the elusive player we saw in college? I don't.
That didn't look anything like him. Yeah.
Who is that? I mean, I think like every time we see him, he has the little hoodie on or something. I think that's a different person because that's not Kadarius Toney.
He has a little cap on as well, bro.
They sent that dude. Maybe he's still getting his cleats fitted for him because that's not the same dude.
Yeah. I'm hoping. I want to be proved wrong. I hope a whole different team comes out Thursday night, and I'm behind Jones, and I'm going to be behind Jones. If I'm being honest, I'm a little concerned we might have a Tannehill situation on our hands where Jones is going to get
with the Dolphins.
Well, no, I mean exactly. So basically, I think he's going to get gone, and somebody is going to swoop him up that can use his talent and his ability, and we're going to be sitting back looking like, what were we doing this whole time? I mean, I do see it. It's there. I could even live with the turnovers if we were pushing the ball down the field and allowing him to make big plays.
Actually sling it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I blame everybody. I blame. It starts with the front office. If I'm being honest, that was one of the main points I wanted to get across. Or I'm a fan of the Giants. I'm not a fan of players. I'm a New York Giants fan. Period. Mm-hmm. And I'm sick of losing. That's why I do get a little frustrated when people on Twitter are like, "Oh, it's one game, bro. It's not one game. This is not one.
It's 11 years.
About to be 30 years old. Like I've been watching a bad team for a decade now. I was an adult for 2 Super Bowls, for good teams, for good offensive lines. And I think a lot of Giants fans that weren't on that bandwagon, I don't want to get too off track, but, with Eli Manning, a lot of people cussed him for years and years and years. Now you see what it's like to have an elite level quarterback that can make pre and post snap reads and is clutch in the 2-minute and the 4-minute. And if you didn't enjoy it for the 15 years that we had, it's pretty obvious now to me that Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin were keeping this franchise afloat because it's been bad decision after bad decision after bad decision since then. And we're rotting from the top down. And I'm worried about Judge, Gettleman, Garrett, Graham. And if I don't see something Thursday with our schedule, I'm worried. I think we're – buckle your seatbelts, like I said.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that.
Go ahead, Dave.
If Eli Manning had started that whole season, we would have been in the playoffs 100%.
Which season?
2019, we'd be in the playoffs.
You think so?
We'd be in the playoffs, 100%. If Eli Manning started that whole season, if you look at all of those games, we lost about 4 or 5 games because Daniel Jones fumbled literally 2 or 3 times and threw interceptions. We literally lost games because of his turnovers, and I didn't have an issue with it because he was our rookie quarterback. But we lost games because of Daniel Jones.
I mean, everybody was surprised that he started early. He was never supposed to start week 3.
When Eli came in there against the Eagles, Pat Shermer's offense works. He was finally getting protection. He finally had a running
against
game.
Miami too.
Exactly. If Eli was on that team, we would have been in the playoffs 100%.
I mean, imagine Eli on this team. Honestly, imagine you standing.
If Eli Manning, right now he's been out of football, but if he would have still been on this team, it makes me feel the same way I feel of like you give Tom Coughlin horrible teams for years, and then you fire Tom Coughlin and spend a bunch of money to give to Ben McAdoo. And obviously that team was so good that a horrible head coach was able to make
offensive line
was able to make the playoffs with it. So I mean, I'm just so glad that all of these people that hated on Eli, and I mean, Fisk is my guy, but Fisk hated on Eli so hard, and he put all his faith in the Peyton Manning with legs. And
that's what he called Daniel.
This is what you get for hating on Eli for all these years, because this is what a bad quarterback looks like. I say.
Yep. No, I'm a Daniel Jones guy, but I 100% agree, and like that's why I said all these Giants fans are going, "Oh, Patrick Graham this, Joe Judge that."
Whoa, get him out of here!
Hey, yo, mods,
get him out of here.
Jason Garrett this, and I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of any of these guys, but we need to start realizing as Giants fans where we're really rotten at and why we haven't been a good franchise for a decade, and it starts at the top, and it's probably the reason that Jason Garrett is still here, but yeah, like I said, I hope, obviously as a fan, I'm behind my team. I hope that they do prove me wrong. I've got tickets to week 18, and I was hoping that something would be on the line.
Oh, you better still pull up, bro. I'm going to be there still.
In that game. Oh, I'm still going there. Like I said, my parents are Washington fans, so we're all going. So I'm going to be there, but I'm hoping I'm there and we're not, 3-12 or what? I'm sorry, 3-13 going into the last game, because I'm worried. And I can be swayed. We come out Thursday and the defense looks better, and we take some shots down the field and be like, all right, they were kicking a lot of the rust out. We didn't play any preseason games, blah, blah, blah. But I'm worried, especially you look at that schedule, because at the end of the day, people will be like, well, you don't know how it plays out. Yeah, we're probably going to win a game, we should lose, and we're probably going to lose a game, we should win. So at the end of the day, for me, that all evens out. And when I look at that schedule, it's concerning. And I think we're actually lucky that a lot of the division games get played in the last 6-7 weeks of the season, because I think there might be an opportunity for a team to be 3 or 4 games back in the division and still make a run late. My goal would be 4 wins by the bye week. That's what I've been saying. We got to have at least 4 wins.
The bye week is week 10, bro.
So, yeah.
Damn.
And so you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, where are we getting those wins at? You know? So, I'm worried, but
I don't blame you for being. I'm worried too. Damn.
But we'll see
until Atlanta.
All right, Bart. Thank you for calling on, man. Any last thoughts before I pop you off, bro?
Nah, that's it. Appreciate it. Enjoy all the content, guys. Keep it up.
Have a good one, man.
Later, y'all.
See you week 18 as well. Bet. Next up, we got a football talk with Benny, man. What's up, Benny?
What's going
Hey,
on, Benny?
how's it going? So I don't got too much time right now because I gotta go to sleep soon, but I'll have a little bit longer. But yeah, so I saw your comment a few days ago after that loss. So I guess I'll talk more about like upcoming against Washington football team. But I'll be honest, I honestly think we're gonna lose this game. To be honest, it's gonna be hard because we're playing in Washington on a short week. And it wasn't like a reaction from the loss. Like I've always had us losing to Washington in this game, like for a while now. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but like it might be tough being on the road on a Thursday night game. I just think it's gonna be hard.
Well, you already know how Diggy is not worried. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a lot of it worried. Listen, once again, I'm just like where Washington had a bad week 1 game as well. All right, Washington did not look good.
Yeah.
We didn't look good. But I'm
I'll
just like
tell
we
you,
look worse than them.
I'll tell you one thing. First off, I don't think I really got to articulate my point with that. As far
Mhm.
as like, we played a bad game. We didn't look like a bad team, in my opinion. We literally played a bad game, and we did a bunch of things that were uncharacteristic on defense of what we usually do.
Mhm.
Blake Martinez is not a horribly tackling linebacker. Our defense is not a horrible tackling defense. I
Mhm.
mean, everything like how many times are you going to see? I mean, multiple times a quarterback is pressured on 3rd and 4th down, and he makes the throw every time. That's
Mhm.
not going to happen every week. That's why I'm not worried about this team. So, like Washington, they got beat by being beat. It wasn't because they were missing a bunch of tackles and they were playing sloppy football. They got beat because they got out game plan. We got out game plan too, but they got beat because they played against a quarterback that made all the right decisions besides that one interception. And I mean, their defense completely just, I mean, no one could block Joey Bosa. So I would say the Giants are coming off of a sloppy. They're coming off
Sloppy
of a
loss.
sloppy game, and Washington is coming off of a game where.
Would you say the Giants were sloppy from the top to bottom?
Listen, man, the Giants are coming off of a win where they played not good football because they were fundamentally not sound.
Yeah.
But Washington, I would say, came off of more of just a regular win. That's why they were in the game, and they have a backup quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick, even as a starter, is a backup, and Heineke probably should have been starting over Fitzpatrick anyway. But
Mhm.
I'm not worried about this game. I mean, the only thing that could wreck this game is Daniel Jones. When we line these two teams up, we're going to be the better team. If Daniel Jones wants to act like an idiot and fumble the ball 3 or 4 times and, give up touchdowns because he's turned over the ball, then that's how we'll lose. Other than that, we don't stand any chance of losing this game, in my opinion.
I'll say this: if we have a repeat of last week or this past Sunday, then yeah, we 100% lose. If I can see some adjustments,
if that team looks like
Yeah.
Last week, like multiple times this season, then that means that they did give up on Joe Judge, because no NFL team plays like that. Like literally no NFL team plays like that week to week.
I'm gonna say this. Damn, it already slipped out of my mind. Oh yeah. If the defense actually looks like what it was supposed to look like, and I don't mean now all the overhyping we did by saying it's gonna be top 5, but if it just looks like a top half of the league defense, which it should be, you know what I'm saying? Then that automatically is a plus for us, because if they can just get off on 3rd downs and 4th downs that should have been stopped in the backfield and not even be a touchdown, then I think we already have a way bigger plus than we did last week.
I think it's a lot about that 3rd down type of stuff. Yeah, we definitely struggled as a defense on that, and I think if we can solve that, it's a way better chance of us winning this week. As for like our offense, I just think we need to take different
Yo,
shots.
Benny, why are you laughing, bro? Benny, stick
But,
to football, bro.
But anyway, so I think we need to take deeper shots downfield. I don't know. I think it will also expand the defense out. They're gonna have to guard downfield. Yeah, I feel like we.
Yo, did I not block this account?
Oh
They probably just made a new account.
Yeah,
Oh, my bad, Benny. But yeah, they keep coming back.
Yeah.
I keep having to block them.
But anyway, so I feel like if we like keep taking deep shots, it's gonna definitely make the defense like, play towards deep. Like they gotta like, actually like I don't even know how to explain it, but they have to focus on the deep pass. Like right now, they're really not worrying about it as much. I feel like, because they know we're not taking the deep shots. We haven't done that too much recently, or last year especially. So I feel like it will really expand the defense out. The safeties will have to play a little bit more back, and it will really help us out a lot. It will make the run game easier. it'll make passing like regular like passing like on like slants and stuff like that. I think it'll make that easier, so the safeties can't really come in as much.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to think if there's anything else.
How do you think we counter Washington's pass rush? Diggy was saying, wait, Diggy, what were you saying? That the offense, you don't think it could do what the Chargers offense did in terms of countering it?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do that. I mean, it's just going to be it's going to have to be through running the football better than what we did before, and we'll just have to make a couple of key plays. Hopefully, this is one of the weeks where we actually take a couple of shots to make those big plays. Other than that, I see our defense making interceptions. I just see us winning this game. It's just one of those games I just see us winning.
See, so what do you do on third? What do you think we should do? Like specifically, do you have any things we should do on third downs related to stop what we were doing? Like, should we continue blitzing or should we stop blitzing? I guess, or like what do you think we should do on these 3rd and 4s and 3rd and 7s to really stop that from happening, continuing for them to convert on this?
It's possible that we're probably going to see some of the same things as far as Heineke avoiding sacks because he's kind of elusive. But other than that, I mean, I think we'll just play pretty much the same kind of football, except we'll be able to make tackles. And I just don't think Jabril Peppers is going to be, even if they put him man on man with Logan Thomas, he's not going to have the same issues because Noah Fant is a really good tight end. He's like a big dude that runs a 4.4. So, I mean, there's no one that can guard him man on man. No safety that's going to just guard him man on man. So I just don't see us having those same issues at all.
Yeah, I feel like I guess you could say Logan Thomas is big, but he definitely doesn't have the speed of what's his name, Fant. So I feel like he's still a tight end to worry about though, because we really don't have any like Jabril Peppers is still definitely smaller than
in the red zone, yeah.
In the red zone, but other than the red zone, I think we'll be fine with him enough. Which is good. But like that's one reason I think it's something we need to target soon. Like I feel like like in the draft next year or in free agency, I definitely think something we need to target is like a coverage type of linebacker because I think it will like expand Jabril Peppers where he can like do way more things. So I think it will really help him out. And I think it'll help this defense out because then Jabril can like blitz more and do just things that he's really really good at. So I feel like a coverage linebacker would be helpful, but I think we can get without it, like, for now.
I mean, if a coverage linebacker ends up being the worst part of his defense in this year, I'm not going to complain too much because we kind of expected that. We'll see how it goes.
Blake Martinez, by the way, was, like, really a liability.
Really?
And they attacked him over and over again in coverage.
Yeah.
Pretty much what we all thought as far as, like, when people were saying it was a horrible signing, that's pretty much how he looked on Sunday. But I have to dip out of here at 10:45. I'm looking up a Teddy Bridgewater stat, and you guys can go ahead while I look this up.
Real quick, let me just get Christopher's, because it was a very interesting comment. He says, this is why I didn't agree with not playing the guys in the preseason. Fix mental mistakes, and for Pete's sake, stop with the good high-character morale players. With the preseason thing, I'd agree with you if we didn't enter the preseason injured. Like, everybody that didn't play in the preseason had some type of injury except for Daniel, I'm pretty sure. Except for Daniel Jones, everybody that played, we entered it unhealthy. So it was really a bad timing sort of thing where they just couldn't play. They weren't healthy. But Daniel, he played that one half. Maybe he should have played more, is what I'll say about that.
Yeah. I mean, do you regret, like, what do you think? Would you rather us, like, play our starters in the first game and second game maybe instead of, like, the fourth game or what? Like, would you rather us in the beginning of the preseason or do you like the end?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I really don't know.
See, I think it might have been better at the beginning now thinking about it because it's really not that far of a week off like we saw. But I think some people's injuries would heal. Like, I don't know about Evan Ingram's injury, but he probably would be ready by week 1.
I will say the O-line did play. The O-line did play the preseason game week 1, the starting O-line.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then they came back in week 3 and played the entire half. So the O-line got a lot of time out there.
Yeah, they did.
And I will say, if we're going to do some correlation, the O-line was like the least of our worries on Sunday.
Yeah,
so that's positive.
Yeah, I definitely could say that. I mean, I don't think preseason is that big of a deal, but I mean, we don't really have much of like a big sample size or anything on this, but yeah, the offensive line did show, at least for their case, that yeah, they did play more in the preseason and did have more help. But like, so what thing would you guys say like is the biggest like worry you got from last game? Like as far as anything
The
on the
biggest
team,
what?
like worry you have for the team. Like did anything make you like? I'm not saying there's anything that will be like huge or anything, but what do you think is the biggest in your opinion? Like for the rest of the season?
I just there's two of them, and both of them are on the offensive side because I do think the defense is gonna be good again, so to speak. One, my worry is that Galladay continues to be somebody that's like used and targeted in garbage time for no reason. I really don't want that to be it. And two, my other biggest fear is that Saquon takes way longer to get back than I expected. Shout out to Nikki and Simon in the chat and Jacob and AP. Yeah. What about you, Diggy? Before you dip out, what's you the biggest worry if any you took?
Yeah, definitely. It worries me that we won't have a run game at all. Seems like whenever Saquon is there, it's like they fold under the pressure and they can't block for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably one of my biggest worries, and the other one is just the philosophy of this team. I think right now, from what I'm seeing and what I've seen the past 2 years, that the philosophy of this team isn't aggressive enough to be a good team. Like I don't think that this team is going to be like some people are saying 0-17, we're the worst team in the league. I think that this team is going to win at least 6 or 7 games. It's just I don't know if this team will ever be able to take the next step because it doesn't seem like we see offense as something we need to be aggressive on. Seems like we see it as we just don't want to mess it up, which is just not going to be able to get us. It's not you don't win 10 games in the NFL by just playing not to make a mistake on offense.
Mm-hmm. Playing too safe. Benny, what's your last thought before I pop you out, man?
Okay. I guess my last thing would probably be think for a second. Who I guess who all right, so okay, I'll ask you about Evan Ingram. Are you guys like first off, do you know when Evan Ingram will be back in? Are you excited for Evan Ingram to be back, or are you a little like worried because obviously he had the drops last year that cost us some turnovers. So are you excited for him to be back or not?
Well, he's gonna be better than Rudolph. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, both. I mean, after I do this, I'll probably have to jump off. But first off, the stat I was looking up was a Teddy Bridgewater stat. He was under pressure 53% of the time. So we had him scrambling out of the pocket because he was running away from pressure. He was under pressure. So I don't think that every quarterback in the league that we play is going to be able to escape pressure and be so surgical under pressure the way that Teddy Bridgewater was. That is just not realistic. He was making great throws across his body under pressure. That's where interceptions and all types of mistakes happen and just errant throws happen. And he did the right thing every time. Not only the right decision, even when he made questionable decisions, he still completed passes like he did whatever he wanted. He literally played on the actual level of like an elite quarterback on that particular night. I don't know if he'll do it forever, but that's how he did on that particular night. With the Evan Ingram thing, I mean, he's going to be more effective as far as what he's going to do for the offense and what we can run and what we have out there. But I still do think he's going to cause some mistakes. I just hope that when he drops passes, it'll be like what we saw with Darren Waller. He just drops the pass. It's not going to be a situation where he drops the pass and it ends up being an interception. That's the only issue I have with Evan Ingram is that he causes turnovers. If he can just be a guy that drops passes, but he's athletic and gets open a bunch, then I'm fine. I mean, that's no problem with me. But I'm going to have to dip out of here. You guys
For sure,
have a good
Diggy.
rest of your day.
Have a good one, man. Peace out. Thank you for calling in, guys. His link is down below. Definitely check him out. Sub him up.
All right.
Tudo, my bad. In the middle of banning that account multiple times, I missed your super chats. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. And then he had another one right after that says, the Giants are not losing to the Washington football team by any counts. All it takes is the coaches to get their heads together and use the $200 million team correctly. I agree with you because, like I said, I think one of the biggest things that lost us the game Sunday other than sloppy play was coaching. I really don't think we came out there with a good game plan and we looked unprepared. But Benny, I'm also going to pop you out as well, man. Thank you for calling in, bro.
Thanks for
Have a
having me
good
on.
one. Let's check in on Bobby Woodruff.
That left is 60 minutes, man.
Bobby is still asleep. What up, Cresley? How you doing, man?
Yo,
Gators
what's up?
fan in
What's
here.
up? Oh yeah, oh man, missed Diggy by one call in. I was about to
Yeah.
say, watch out for week 7
Week
coming
7?
for him. Oh yeah,
The
LSU
Panthers?
Gators playing. LSU Gators.
Oh, okay.
College
I was about
football,
to
you
say,
know.
I'm looking at week 7. We got the
Yeah.
Panthers week
Oh
7.
no, week 7. Yeah, Giants should beat
Yeah.
Panthers, but I don't know why people are so scared of Washington.
I'm scared, of,
See, look,
bro.
if
I'm
I
not
knew Daniel
scared of them,
Jones
but I'm not
wouldn't
like
look like
completely
Tom Brady
confident.
and Andrew Thomas isn't Chase Young's father, then I might be scared. But you know, last 2 years, in my opinion, we've been a worse team. I feel like Sunday was just a
Good night,
fluke.
Logan.
I feel like it
A
was just a
fluke?
fluke.
Okay. That's a very strong word,
The
bro.
whole team was just terrible. The defense, I don't know what was going on. Jabril Peppers, he was just terrible. And then you had like Daniel Jones and the offensive line. To me, were actually bright spots. Which defense I thought would actually be the one that stepped up during that game. But the run blocking needs to get fixed for sure, because the run blocking was atrocious. It was terrible. And I could only watch on Red Zone since I'm done here in Georgia, so I couldn't see every play. But from what I saw, it wasn't it. That wasn't a
You
good
know,
game.
how does Red Zone work? I don't think I've ever watched Red Zone. Like,
Red
how does it
Zone?
work?
Okay, so it shows all the teams. Like, they get in the red zone, they'll show all the teams. So last year, it was rare when the Giants got shown because we were
So
in the
we
red
only got
zone
shown
much.
like what, once?
And
weekend?
it'll show on like third downs, like big third downs or something. And there was only 4 games on. Sometimes they'll go to like a split screen. But yeah, since NFL Sunday Ticket's only on DirecTV, I can't
Yo,
get
that
that.
I just want to point that out real quick. That's so stupid.
I know.
Why does DirecTV, bro? If
It's
the
terrible,
NFL
too.
doesn't get together and put out a Netflix type streaming service, bro, like
They need
it just seems like it's
so
an idea that's
how to
right there, but they're
market
not
and
doing it.
just watch their games, because it's so bad. Because I gotta wait for the primetime games to watch the full game, or like the Falcon game. And the Panthers game hopefully I'll be able to watch. But for Washington, I feel like we'll go in. I don't know. I feel like we'll just play better this week. I feel like I don't know how to say it. I don't think we'll blow them out, but I don't think it'll be too close. Maybe like 24-17. But I feel like we have the lead, and then Washington almost makes a comeback.
So
but
you think
stop 'em.
we technically blow them out? Then that's 2 scores. That's a 2-score lead.
24-17?
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's a 1-score lead. Yeah.
No, I feel like we'll be leading like 24-10, fourth quarter. Washington will go down, score some points, but I feel like we'll stop them when it matters.
So yeah, no,
true.
this was a
That is
hilarious
true.
joke.
Oh,
At
that's
least
true.
over the past couple of years.
Also, Mark Primetime, how do you lose to me in fantasy when one of my players doesn't even get a single point?
Yo, you know,
and you lost to me, man.
I'm in, I think, 7 or 8 fantasy teams. The only one I lost was the one where I had Aaron Rodgers starting at quarterback.
He was terrible. I saw
and I
his
lost
play.
by
He
like 12 points.
he overthrew his receiver like 20 yards. It was terrible. But my fantasy team is actually pretty good this year. Jerry Jeudy getting hurt didn't help, but Corey Davis, I got Ayuk on the team. He didn't get a point last year or last game. So
Oh, wait a minute, they need to do it, because when the Thursday night football game shows on Amazon Prime, it's actually not bad. It's not a bad broadcast. Like, the stream is really good quality, and it's not that delayed either. It's really
I have
almost like watching it
Red
live.
Zone and NFL Network on the TV.
He says he got it through streaming. Manny, explain how. Put a link maybe.
Because I've been trying to find out every way, but you got to have a VPN if you want to get the Fire Stick. So I'm like, this is tough. I'll just wait for the primetime games, listen to play-by-plays, and try to catch them on NFL Red Zone. So,
shout out to Tana in the chat. What up, Tana?
What's up?
Tuning in, man. Always appreciate the support. But yeah, Cresley, so getting back to Washington. So you and Diggy are on the same train. Y'all not worried about Washington, anything like that?
I'm not I'm confident, but I'm not like overconfident. I can see a world where they beat us, but I don't know. I just feel like we've had their number. Till they stop us, I'm not gonna pick them. So, and I feel like
That's
People
exactly
were
how Eagles fans feel about
People
us.
were picking the Broncos. We beat the Broncos, and then we lose to Washington. I feel like this might be the best time to lose. We get embarrassed by the Broncos, and then I feel like everyone will become a leader and just play angry and stuff, and we'll go out, beat Washington, because I feel like they're confident against Washington, so that will boost their confidence. Then we have Atlanta. That's good for the offense to click. And then the Saints, that's going to be a tough
No, the
game.
Saints is a very tough matchup,
Saints
especially
is
with
a
how
tough game.
elite Jameis
And
looked.
then after the Saints, we go to Dallas. That's tough too.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like we beat Washington, Atlanta. We go on a 3-game losing streak. We beat Carolina. We lose to Kansas City. I hope that's still on Monday night.
It is. I think it still is.
And then we beat Vegas. I believe we beat the
Wait,
Raiders.
was it Kansas City or Tampa
we
Bay that was
we
Monday
got
night?
both on Monday night.
We don't have a Sunday night football game this year?
Let's see.
So we got a Thursday night and 2 Mondays?
We've got a Thursday night, 2 Monday. Yep, no Sunday.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah,
No
I'm looking at the
Sunday?
schedule right now.
I could have sworn
Every
Kansas
Sunday is
City was
like
Sunday
1
night.
to in 4:25.
Yeah.
The only 4 o'clock games are Chargers and Cowboys. Every other Sunday game is 1.
Okay. I'll admit that's a little bit new news to me. I was always anyway, it's not like it really matters. Getting back to the Washington game, let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Who's the biggest liability on this team? Like if this player doesn't perform well, we're gonna lose.
Well, I feel like any team is the quarterback. But I feel
Mhm.
like Daniel Jones doesn't have a good game. That any team will lose if the quarterback doesn't have a good game. But besides Daniel Jones, this is tough. This isn't one person, but I just feel like the run blocking isn't good. I don't think we have a good chance.
Keep in mind, I agree with you. I was a little disappointed. I was disappointed by the run blocking, slightly impressed with the pass blocking against the Broncos. But the thing is, we were switching a lot of offensive linemen. Like
Yeah.
Peart eventually ended up rotating with Solder, and we rotated Lemieux and Bredesen, who are kind of like the exact opposite in terms of what they're good at.
From what I saw, the first down run block, we got like 5 yards, and then I'm not a big fan of Garrett because we had that huge bomb to Darius Slayton, and then my boy Kadarius gets gobbled up in the backfield. It's kind of sad, but we should have just threw a deep pass. I want us to go vertical because Daniel Jones, he throws.
He's not a dink and
great.
dunk
He
quarterback,
throws
bro.
great deep balls. Like if you look at that ball placements there, and it fits our team. We got Darius Slayton, Kenny Galladay, and then you could have like Sterling Shepard on maybe like a curl route or something. Maybe because if no one else is open, throw it to Sterling Shepard. Maybe he'll create something. I just it makes me so frustrated because I know this team is good. I feel like this team is just different. Well, not. I feel like it's just a 10-win team, but I feel like if we keep this play calling, it'll probably be 8-7 wins because we got a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
A tough schedule. But I
So-
feel like we beat Washington. We get back on track to playoff hopes. And then we proceed to beat Atlanta and then the Saints. I'll think about that when we get there.
So we got a caller in here that's gonna remain for the rest of the show as usual. When this dude calls on, hide your mirrors. It's gonna break when I bring him on. Sadly, your camera as well. It's not the best looking dude. What up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Oh,
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man?
What's up?
I saw you taking
Big
calls
fan.
to get our top on.
big fan.
For sure, man. Yeah, after Cresley, it's only BPS, so it's not like we got much more on here.
Oh, cool.
What's up, Cresley, man? So what do you
Yo,
think? You
what's
think
up?
you're getting a W or what?
Oh
my man?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah?
We're walking
And
in
don't forget now, Cresley's a Gators fan, so I was about to
Yeah.
ask him, what you think about Kadarius and the way we use them? How you want us to use them, man?
Well, to be fair, I couldn't really watch it because red zone again. But
Yeah.
to me, he in his last year of Florida, right? So before his senior year, he was always used as that shifty little gadget piece. And then that senior year, he started to break out, great route runner. He was breaking people's ankles. And I feel like he's a good route runner. But for this Giants team, We have Darius Slayton and all them, so I feel like throw him in every now and then. Put him on a little slant route because he has that breakaway speed. Not as good as Percy Harvin. People compare him to Percy Harvin. He's not. He doesn't have that breakaway speed compared to Percy Harvin, but he is fast and shifty. He can make a couple guys miss. So he's very good at like that yak routes and stuff like that. So I want him to be using that way.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, as far as Tony goes, I'd like to see him in the kick return game. You know,
Yeah.
we saw CJ Board there last week.
I want to see him in the punt return.
That as well, but
I don't want to see him in like Jabril Peppers out there.
Like for a team that like stresses, like we need to be able to create a big play in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
He's a guy that can create big plays.
Oh
So
yeah.
whatever is going to give you the best, put him on the field, man. Give him a shot to return kicks. Give him a shot to return.
Oh yeah.
punt. I'd like to see him out there for that.
Pretty
in this
much
game.
every time he got the ball as a Gator in his senior year, if it wasn't like a design route in the punt return game, he'll take one to the house, or he'll go just outrun guys down the field and make the catch. And people that say he couldn't catch when he was coming out of college, they are wrong because
He had the best drop rate in college football.
exactly, he was so trusty.
Bro,
with
his problem wasn't catching; it was always route running.
Yeah,
It
but
was what his,
senior
he
year,
was-
I don't know.
yeah.
Senior year, he improved on that. And I hear
Mhm.
some people say he needs a duo like Kyle Pitts. I just don't believe that. I don't believe he needs somebody else. I feel like if he's just on a one-on-one matchup, you should go to him. So that's my looks on him.
I think they got to use him more in this game, though. I was
Yeah.
discouraged.
And he's our first round pick too.
Yeah, I was surprised. Well, you know what? I can't say I was discouraged because he didn't play in preseason. So
Yeah.
maybe it's going to take a few weeks for him to really get a true role with this football team. But I thought they were going to use him more because the first two drives they used him twice out of the first 8 snaps, and I was like, wow, they're going to use him more in this game than I thought. I am not a fan of Slayton. Rather, I'm a big fan of Shepard. I'm not a fan of Slayton.
Okay, real quick before you move on, all right? Because man, was I supporting this man Slayton so hard throughout his first like 2 years, and I was just like, he's back in where he's gonna be good. And it's like, I'm sorry, but that game alone is so discouraging for somebody that wanted Slayton to be successful.
He must have been hanging around.
I don't
Evan
know
Ingram.
what to feel about Slayton. Like, what is your outlook on Slayton now? And I know obviously it's one game, but still, it's like so discouraging.
Listen, man, everybody talks about Ingram's drop problems, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And when Ingram makes a drop, it costs us games. But nobody, it's like people are allergic to talking about Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton last year dropped almost about the same amount in terms of percentage of his targets that Evan Ingram did. He had like 5 or 6 drop on like 65 targets or whatever it was. And then in 6 quarters since I've been watching him, 2 in that New England game, and and the full game this time, he's had 3 drops. And I mean, the guy has drop problems. He's not the most polished route runner. I know it may not happen right away, but I do believe before the end of the year, you're going to see him become the 4th wide receiver on this team. I think you're going to see Tony get more of a role.
Oh yeah, I really hope so.
I thought when we first brought in Tony that he was going to kind of replace Shepard, but obviously that's not going to be the case now.
And Shepard looked great. He was probably
And
the
they
only person
extended
that looked
Shepard,
great.
essentially, by backloading the salary. So I think Slayton's going to be eased out of this offense. I really believe that.
The next jersey I get is definitely gonna be a Kadarius Toney one, just because I'm a huge fan of him. The last jersey I got was an Evan Ingram jersey.
Oh no,
That was before the season.
Jerseys for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. No, I believed in him so much. I was like, yes, Evan Ingram, let's go. And yeah, it didn't go so well. But Kadarius Toney, I really want him because I've been when I started I think it was his freshman year. Yeah, it was. I started really getting to Gator football his freshman year. That's when he wore number 4. Man, number 4 Toney was different. He was a different beast.
Oh, I got a question for both of y'all, and saying because we just spoke about Darius, how where I am with Darius, he's looking like essentially he didn't really improve. I said this on Twitter. I'm gonna stick by it. I'm not done with Jones yet, but I am done with all the rookie mistakes. How is it that in his 3rd year he's still making rookie mistakes? You know what I'm saying? The fumble, I call that a rookie mistake because you should have slid. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a quarterback. You're a mobile quarterback. That is what you are. You should know to slide. You shouldn't have to fumble and then on your next run you slide. All right. And there's a problem with him once again since his rookie year. He just never liked to slide for some reason, or it was never engraved in his brain. Let me slide when I'm about to go down. Another thing I saw a lot of that I'm getting really tired of talking about is that he continuously stares down his receivers every now and then. And I get that in terms of offense, we call a couple of plays that are like one read plays, like it's supposed to be. You look at one guy, you just toss it to him. But like, I don't know, look out the safety, like make the safety think you're going somewhere else first before you go there or something. Like there's so many things you could do where it's like not obvious that you're staring down this dude. And that played into pocket awareness as well, because his first sack, he was staring down somebody on the left side of the field, and that's how he got sacked. That was what I noticed on that play. I know that the right side line did break down. What I also noticed is that Daniel was so laser focused on whoever was on the left side, he just did not realize somebody's barreling down on him on his right side. So
yeah, man. I mean, listen, I'm like you. I'm not quitting on Daniel like half the fan base seems to be. I'm also not going to be a guy that makes every excuse in the book for Daniel, like the other half of the fan base seems to be. I feel like you and me were on an island by ourselves. You know, I'm not putting all the blame on Jason Garrett like a lot of the fan base seems to be doing, and I'm also not going to completely give up on the kid. But you're absolutely right. All you have to do is look at the two different quarterbacks on the drive where Jones fumbled. The thing that pisses me off the most is it was first down. It's not like it was third down and you were putting your head down to try to get the yards. You got to be smarter as a quarterback. Take 2 or 3 less yards. Give yourself a 2nd and 5 and make sure that you hold on to the football and slide. Jones goes for it. He puts the head down and he fumbles. The very next drive, Teddy Bridgewater slides and he gets tacked on an extra 15 yards because we hit the quarterback. You have to be smarter as a quarterback. It's not like he's Eli Manning. Eli Manning didn't use his legs, so you didn't really expect him to be I guess, you know, good at sliding. But a guy like Daniel Jones, who's going to use that as one of his weapons and one of his strengths, he's got to get better with that. He's got to get smarter. So I'm with you, man. And it's the same story all the time. And by the end of the year, it has to get better. I said, you know, he looked really good outside of that play and the one horrible throw in the red zone, which should have been an interception when he threw it in the triple coverage against.
Oh, there was a couple of plays that should have been an interception.
And then the throw to Rudolph was atrocious. I don't know where the hell he was throwing that ball in the red zone. But overall, in terms of throwing the football, he had a good performance when I factor in the secondary that he was going up against. And there's things that you see about his game that you like, but and I said going into the year, so I'm going to be as fair as I can. I am not going to be overly judgmental on Jones and the offense in general for the first 2 weeks because I look at the defenses we're going up against. Him and Galladay had no report. He didn't play in preseason. Tony didn't play in preseason. But in terms of making rookie mistakes, that's inexcusable. Can't happen. Needs to get much better in that area, and hopefully he does. Otherwise, we're going to be looking for another quarterback.
Kresley, what about you, man?
I feel like he has something in his mind that he needs to prove he's like tough. I don't know why. I just feel like he doesn't want to go down. You got to go down, though. You just can't afford to have those mistakes.
Diggy brought it up earlier. He's like, he went back and watched a high school tape. Now, this was a long time ago because it's high school tape. But one of the reasons could be because in high school, he never slid. He kind of tried and trucked everybody. And it worked. I'm just like, yo, bro, it's been a while, DJ. You got come on now. You're not in high school anymore, bro.
Yeah. What was that?
I think smarter, man. You got to be smarter.
What was that? I think it was Bad Dog in your play-by-play stream. He said they need a baseball coach to come in here and teach people how to slide.
They probably do. I mean, honestly, no, they don't. Remember, Judge slid in the mud last offseason. Come on now. He could teach you how to slide.
I'm going to tell you what, man. Judge can't get a pass from me this week either.
Oh,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Can.
Nobody can. All the coaches. Patrick Graham.
I'm going to tell you another thing. And I know a lot of people in here listening for sure hate Jason Garrett. He is the punching bag of the New York Giants. And I understand it. And his offense is not very innovative. But why in the world is Patrick Graham not getting any slack from this fan base off the week 1 performance? If you ask me which coordinator had a worse game, it was Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham got embarrassed against our former offensive coordinator and Pat Shurmur.
One thing we got to realize, this isn't his first game that he's gotten embarrassed like this.
Yeah, and to me, and I love Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham, I thought, did a great job with what he had last year. There were definitely games where he didn't do well. To me, Patrick Graham made no adjustments in that game at all. Like, to me, it was clearly obvious that Patrick Graham said going into the game, we're going to be a heavy blitz team. Well, Pat, the blitz wasn't working. Bridgewater was making plays. You blitzed 44% of the time in the game, and you couldn't get to the quarterback. And when you did, he was finding ways to get out of it, and he made no adjustments. And everybody's complaining about the coverage. Well, we had 4 or 5 guys back there because you were sending the house half the time. He made no adjustments, and Shurmur carved him up. So I just feel like the fan base looks for guys that they're always going to criticize no matter what. Patrick Graham is not. He's not allergic to criticism.
He's not absolvable.
He had a horrible game.
And Judge as well, because guess what? Judge approves both of these game plans. And Judge also, as the head coach, can go up to both of these guys during the game and say, you better call something else, bro. Or you need to call something else. You need to make some adjustments. They're like, yo, listen, I see they're slacking here, attack there. I see that you're slacking here. Put this guy. Like, as a head coach, that's what he does. We say, he has the CEO, hands-off type role. All right, he's still responsible for them. He still, at the end of the day, approves, some of the game plans that they come up with. And I'll say this. Shout out to Joel in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Smash that like button. We got 97 people. I'll say this. And everything I think we should say, we'll just preface so that we don't need to continue saying it and sound like a broken record. It's week 1. Good. That's out the way.
Mm-hmm.
This defense against the Broncos looked like what my worst fear was during the offseason, and people told me it wasn't going to happen. My worst fear during the offseason was that because we got a lot of players to fit what Patrick Graham did in Miami in terms of press and man press and blitz, we were going to look like the 2019 Miami defense, which was not a good defense. That was my fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mostly connected to James Bradbury, who also had a bad game, where I was like, Bradbury was a monster in a defense that was mostly zone coverage. Where Patrick Graham, I called him the mad genius because he came up, he made chicken salad out of chicken strip, basically. Yep. And that was what made him the mad genius. And I was like, he came up with a defense that we've never seen him in his career up until that point really use, and it worked. So I wanted to stick with that. This defense week 1 looks so much like what he was running in Miami, especially with blitzing. We weren't really a blitz heavy team last year. The year before, he had a good amount. I'm not going to compare the numbers because I can't get them off my head.
I can tell you right now, last year we blitzed the 20th most times in the league, 25% of the time. Last night we blitzed 44%, which was the 4th highest in the NFL. And I'm all for blitzing if it's getting home, and you're doing it at the
getting home, exactly.
And you're fooling the quarterback, but we weren't fooling anybody. And they weren't. Yeah. As much as we want to pick on the secondary, he didn't give his secondary a chance. I mean, you're talking about, look at the wide receiving core for the Denver Broncos. And then you factor in Noah Fant. If you're sending that many guys and you're not getting to the quarterback, you could put Teddy Bridgewater back there. You could put Tyler Heineke back there. They're going to have a great day. If you're not getting
24, that was TB5.
Yeah. Yeah. They made him look like TB12.
Mm-hmm. I don't get what's with my teams playing like soft zone, because it's getting annoying with Todd Grantham at Florida doing all of this, and then Patrick Graham this Sunday was doing it. It got annoying. And Xavier McKinney, this is the play that stands out to me. I think it was the score to go up 10-7 before half. If Xavier McKinney just put his hands up running at Teddy Bridgewater, I can't speak. He could have made him like throw a sidearm and maybe throw a bad pass, but he tried to go for the tackle. And so Teddy Bridgewater could just loft it up to whatever the tight end was. Because Xavier McKinney just was going for his arm instead of putting his hands up. Yeah. And Joe Judge teaches all this, or it says he does, and then they come out and do this. That's kind of made me mad, because he praises the fundamentals and he does this. They were sloppy. They were terrible.
How many times did we get stiff armed by a quarterback? It was like 4 times. It was an embarrassing defensive performance, and it was a game we knew going in that if we were going to win, the defense was going to have to carry us, and that's why that's why I get not annoyed, but that's why I'm like, we get it, guys. But at the end of the day, the defense is what lost us this game, and nobody is focusing their venom on that side of the ball. It's like they just forget about it. Like
they love hating on Garrett and Jones.
I mean, I don't blame them, but yeah, you can't, after this week, you can't come out the game and blame only Garrett. I mean,
it's everyone. It was a team.
All coaches got outcoached. They looked horrible, and the players looked terrible. That's what it was.
I feel like if we're gonna have to scrap this rebuild, I don't want to get rid of the GM, and that's it. I love Joe Judge so far, and I love Patrick Graham, but if we're gonna scrap this, I want just to clean the house, bring a whole new thing in, new ideas, new minds. I don't want to keep Joe Judge.
If it's a complete failure, I'm with you.
Keep this like roller coaster going, where if the coach doesn't work, then we get rid of the coach, and maybe the GM won't work next 2 years. We get rid of GM and we keep going. I want us to just start clean. I love Barkley. I love everyone on this team, but at the end of the day, I root for the logo, and I want the Giants to succeed. So,
Kresley, let me get your last thought before I pop you up. I see Robert Woodruff is awake. Bobby Woodruff, aka he's awake now, so I'm gonna pop him in next. Kresley, what's your last
thoughts? We're gonna beat Washington in a comfortable lead, 28. Let's change it to 28-13. Giants going to FedEx Field. Go with the W. Get a 10-day break, then proceed to murder Atlanta. So
Love it.
I hope that's what it is, man.
optimism.
Love it, my man.
All right, thank you for calling in,
Giants,
Cresley. Have a good one, bro. So next up, we got Bobby. Then I'll add BPS. Then Kashif is back here. So let's see. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
Okay, I'm sorry. I fell asleep. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What's up, Bobby?
Hey, it's Christopher. What are you doing over there? What you
Before,
left?
before you ask, Bobby, before you ask, I did not see Mr. Softy.
I know what's wrong with him. He's not doing anything during the summer.
Yeah, I didn't see him today.
Yeah, but Chris, you left. I thought you liked me, Chris.
I do like you.
You started laughing when he told you.
Because you make me laugh when you come on. You're hysterical.
I don't think it was a bad laugh.
Okay, I'm funny looking, maybe. But do you think I lost weight? Look at my
You
face.
look beautiful, actually, Bobby. I was going to say you look beautiful.
I think I'm not beautiful, but I'm losing.
I think you look beautiful.
So, you know what okay. Remember what I told you about
What
the
about?
quarterback I want? What's the
The what?
quarterback I want? Which quarterback did I tell you I wanted to come to the Giants?
I can't remember. How long ago was this?
Christopher, do you remember what quarterback I told you I wanted to be on the Giants?
I don't.
He just beat the snot out of us on Sunday.
Teddy
Teddy
Bridgewater?
Bridgewater.
Yes. Okay. He made the fool out of our defense so much. He was dancing around. He was playing with us all game long. You see him like shuffling his feet. Then he starts going like that. The defense looked horrible. What happened?
I think first up you got to tip your cap to Bridgewater. Okay?
Yes, I told you. Didn't I tell you he's a good quarterback? I told you.
Now his coach definitely helped him. Shermer destroyed us.
Oh, I hate him.
In terms of his game planning.
Sorry.
But Bridgewater made 3 or 4 plays that the two differences in this game to me were this. There were many other differences, but the two that really stuck out to me is, yeah, you could definitely say that Daniel Jones didn't lose us the game, but he didn't elevate the team.
No.
Bridgewater, when things broke down, elevated the team.
Yeah.
You think back to the 4th and 1 play with the stiff arm. You think back to I think it was the 3rd and long play where he threw it across his body, and I was like, what the hell?
I remember that. I could not believe that throw.
And he came up with a play. And the other thing that really stuck out to me was Denver played to win. The Giants played not to lose. Denver went for it 3 times on 4th down. The Giants played super conservative on offense when they
Denver went vertical when they needed to.
Pinned back in their own zone. So, Hub, I don't know how you feel. My opinion about this Giants team is this year we need to know. You know, we didn't go out there and spend all that money on Galladay. We didn't spend the 1st-round pick on Tony. We didn't sign John Ross. We didn't sign Rudolph not to find out what Daniel Jones is. So I want to go down swinging. That's the way I look at it. I need to know what I have at the quarterback position. And if Daniel Jones throws 3 picks and we lose the game, he throws 3 picks and we lose the game. You got to take the training wheels off of this kid, and we have to find out if he can take that next step as a quarterback. That is what infuriates me more than anything else.
And I'll say this to add on to that. It's not just, oh my God, this account. Mods, where you guys at? This man keeps coming back with new account. But yeah, so in addition to that, we need to know what Daniel Jones is. Me and D talked about it earlier when he popped on and then also off stream. It's not just Jason Garrett, because I will never stop blaming Garrett. I really don't think he's a good match for us. But it's not just him. We've seen Garrett's offense. We've played against Jason Garrett for almost 20 years.
Yes.
This man does not run this slow and this conservative of an offense. I'm gonna put something out there that I'm gonna give credit to originally with Diggy first. I think the reason philosophically we're such a slow-paced and conservative team on offense has more to do with Joe Judge than it does Jason Garrett. If you look at the way he speaks about this offense, and once again, we have proof of what Jason Garrett has done with a big body 50-50 wide receiver in Des Bryant. They were not like this at all. But you look at the way Joe Judge talks about this team, he's even said it. He wants old school. He wants hard nose. He wants punch him out slow football. And that's the philosophy of the offense that we're running. So as much as I hate Garrett, because I don't think he's created enough for us, a lot of that also has to do with what Judge wants him to run. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you're preaching to the choir. I always say it's not just, there's fans that I think are just saying it's just Garrett. No, it's part Jones, it's part Garrett, it's part obviously Judge. Judge is the head coach at the end of the day. And for people to think that Joe Judge has no say in what the offense is going to do on a week-to-week basis, and this isn't the type of offensive philosophy that he wants to run, they're kidding themselves. And they're and at the and I love Joe Judge. I want Joe Judge to be the answer. I think he's what we needed. We need a disciplinarian. I think he's well spoken. I think he's a guy that the players respect. But at the end of the day, he's the head coach. And if you don't think he signs off, I'm not saying that it's his scheme, but if you don't think he signs off on the offensive philosophy week to week, you're kidding yourself.
And like I said, we have proof of the fact that Garrett isn't a slow conservative guy. I mean, does he like to run the ball a lot and drain out the clock? Yes, but just go back to Des Bryant in his prime, bro. It didn't look like this.
Christopher, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
You got your tickets for the Eagle game, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the Eagle game. Yep.
Is Bad Dog going too?
Yeah, Bad Dog's going. Yep.
Which section are you guys in?
I don't have them yet, but I will let you know when I get them.
Okay, are you going, Hub?
No, I could only afford one game a year, but I'm going Week 18 Washington because I think it's going to be one of those big games of the year.
You gotta
Also,
freeze your butt off. You gotta freeze your butt off.
I've been living in New York City like
I
basically
know
my
that.
entire life,
I
bro.
went to New York with cold weather too.
I know, but another reason Week 18 works so well for me, other than I think it's going to be a really good game, just game-wise and division-wise, it's also like way out of my semester. I'm going to be on winter break as well, so I don't got to worry about school or anything.
You're in college still. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And what, you staying at a hotel, Christopher?
Probably. That's what we did last year.
Which
so, yeah,
one
we'll
are you
probably
staying at?
We'll probably. I don't know, but we'll probably go to a bar the night before. What,
Yeah,
you
I can't wait to meet you guys.
You want the keys to my room, Bobby?
Hey, yo.
Did I say that? Did I say that? No.
I'm just messing with you.
No, we're going to that game. I want to meet you in bed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Be careful before you get your glizzy gobble, bro.
Is Kid Blue going to that game or no?
I don't know.
You'd have to ask KB.
Is the big guy going?
Who's the big guy?
Who's Bobby Skinner?
No, he's probably going. The other guy, who's Bad Dog's friend? Bad Dog's friend.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, DWG. Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, I want to meet him. He's tall. Compared when he stands next to me, he's going to seem much smaller. Kid Blue's much taller than I am.
Yeah.
And
Really?
you got to meet my
Much
brother.
much taller than
Funny. You think I'm funny? You got to meet my brother.
Looking forward to it, Bobby.
Yeah. And then
Bobby. Oh, yeah,
what?
go ahead. No, I was going to ask you any last thoughts before I pop you up.
Like
Like
five.
5.
Friday? No, I'm looking. I know it's late.
Yeah.
I hope Barkley comes back. He looked not bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they limited him to exactly what we were all guessing he was getting limited to, which is 10 carries, like down to the number 10 carries.
Is he gonna?
I think it was a game he needed. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was happy with it.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a game he needed. You know, he didn't get any hits until that game, so I think he needed it.
He's play Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
What happened?
Is he playing Thursday night?
I think
There's no reason he shouldn't be, and I think
Okay.
Judge might have said he's playing as well.
And Galloway, did you see that catch he made with his fingers?
Galladay, you
Several.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great catch.
He made 2 great catches.
Yeah,
The thing was, it was so late. I'm just like, why didn't you use him earlier? And once again, that's not just
well,
Garrett.
you
That's
know,
also
that's
Jones for
Giants
throwing the ball.
football. You know how stupid they are. They don't throw it enough times. Like Chris said, you both think what's that word?
Conservative.
That's the word. Conservative, yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, fellas. Was I sleeping on camera?
Yeah, I popped you on a couple times to see what you were doing, and you were asleep.
Oh, no, was I snoring?
No, it wasn't on. Like you were too far away from your camera. If you were.
Oh, thank God I didn't hear you snoring. Oh, like,
Bobby, you're a
It's all
character.
good, man.
You're a
I
character.
try. Christopher, it's nice. I want to get on your channel soon too.
I do a video calling tomorrow. Actually, every night before the game, I do a video calling. So maybe you'll be
Really,
able to
Wednesday night?
well, usually it's Saturday night, but we're playing Thursday.
Yeah, because we're playing Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what time do you go on tomorrow?
Probably 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be up. I won't be sleeping. I'm sorry, I screwed you.
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good.
Well, I'm an old man. I try to wait for you.
You're not old. What are you?
30.
25, Bobby? You're
I'm
20.
53. What are you talking about?
I'll turn that around, man. 35.
Yeah, 35. I'll take 35. All right, I'll let you pop on another
You're
one.
good, Bobby. It was good. It was good talking to you.
But I'll see you tomorrow, Christopher.
All right, Bobby.
And bye, Hub.
Peace out, man. Have a good
Peace
one.
out.
Bobby's 53. My dad is like 60. and looks like
Bobby doesn't look
40.
a day over 12.
You're right. You 12. Hold up now. I don't know about that. Shout out to one of the favorite call-in favorite now at this point. I'm not sure if Engraven is still in here. If he is, this is his favorite guy right here. I'm gonna ask him to put down. He's holding up an obscene sign at the camera, and I can't pop you on if you're holding up an obscene sign at the camera. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, Big Play Slay. If you don't put it down, I'm gonna kick you out. Okay, there he goes. What up, man? How you doing, bro?
Still take that.
Oh, there's the obscene sign again. Like, you're trying to get me
does it feel,
demonetized, bro?
Kush? I mean, you were talking all that smack before the game. I mean, y'all
I mean,
lost.
I like how you changed your tone, bro. You were like, I'm gonna let the Giants slide week 1, but week 2, I'm gonna get on them. What was happening, bro?
All right.
Y'all
I've
played
been
Atlanta.
defending y'all
Well,
this
I'm gonna
entire
ask you this:
offseason.
why are you so hyped for beating Atlanta unless you thought you were gonna lose to them, bro?
I'm not hype. I'm just saying we got the dub and no one else did.
Okay, sure,
Oh,
man.
no, you know what? I'm gonna agree with people. If I was an Eagle fan, I'd be hyped. You guys are in
Yeah.
first place right now.
The thing is, though, Tan, I don't know if he's an Eagles fan. I've never seen him wear green. Right now, he's wearing Detroit colors, silver, gray, and blue. He's wore Dallas
Oh
colors
my
before,
God.
Washington colors, Giants.
Chris, if
And you know what
didn't
his
know,
reasoning
bro, they
is?
think I'm a Giants fan.
His
You
reasoning
might-
is,
I mean, you're on a Giants show. I don't blame him for thinking that.
I'm
bro,
not a
Chris, his
Giants
reasoning
fan.
is, I don't like the color green. But you're an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan. I am 1,000% green. Green
My
Okay.
condolences. My condolences.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
No, you said,
Condolences back
you
to
said,
me, bro.
All right, bro, what's up, man? What you got?
Teddy Two Gloves, as KB likes to call him.
Mhm.
How was that, man? That was great performance by him.
That was painful.
He was. Oh my God, this top 10 defense that y'all like to hype up, and what
Oh,
did he do?
so what about Washington, bro? Why you only coming at my team, bro? What about Washington? Washington defense look good? People were saying they were the best defense in the league.
They kept it somewhat close. They
Nah,
kept it
bro.
pretty close with.
I'm
They
not about to
did,
sit
but
here
they
and
gave
listen
up a
to
ton
this.
of yards. They gave up over 400 yards in that game.
Yeah.
Washington and the Giants, I would say they were both equally disappointing, both teams, week 1. I know that the Chargers are a better team and the score was closer, but they had a really disappointing performance as well. Both teams were disappointing.
Real quick, I just gotta say, Bobby, call in and stay in. I've seen you pop in like 5 times and then you pop out. I'm not sure if your internet connection or what. Call in and stay there, and you just gotta wait your turn. I'm gonna go down the line. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead there, BPS.
Come on, man. You gotta help me out, Bobby. But now I'm playing. I like the performance by the Eagles. That's what you like to do. It's a convincing win. I know the team's bad, but any convincing win against a team that you should beat is a good victory for the team. Even though it may not show like it to everyone else, it's a good win, but no one else cares because it's
Hey,
a
man,
bad.
I'm gonna agree with you. You know, I hate the Eagles. I can't stand the Eagles. I hate your organization. But I'm gonna agree with you. And it's a Mickey Mouse win. It's not a good team, the Falcons. I agree with that. But as a Giants fan, Hub, when's the last time we blew out anybody?
I can't remember.
Well, so I'm gonna tip my cap, and I'm gonna say,
I'm also gonna tip my cap to Jalen Hurts. He
yeah,
looked good.
it's only week 1. So if I was an Eagles fan, I ain't getting over the top excited. And I think you're getting a much better test this week. The 49ers, you're at home. We'll see how you do. If you beat the 49ers, I'm going to start to believe in you as being a much better team than I thought you would be. Still not a very good team, but definitely a much better team than I thought you would be.
Mhm.
And, I'm going to tip my cap, man. I can't remember the last time the New York Giants blew out anybody. So regardless of who the opponent was, it was on the road. You took care of business. See how you do against the 49ers.
Yeah. Now, what AP said in the chat, do y'all agree with that? Like the blowout that he says that he thinks it's a blowout last year. I don't agree, but
What was the score of the second game
it
last
was
year?
27-17. That's not a blowout.
That's
It's not a blowout.
It's not a blowout per
like
se.
a 20-point win. That's like a blowout.
For me, it's at least 2 touchdowns as a
The
blowout.
mods, bro. Hey, y'all gotta fix that. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, the last blowout was
Eagles
2018 Washington 40-18, but we had an offense that was much better, it seemed. So
Yeah, so our last blowout was 2018. You're going all, so it's been a long time for us. So I don't care who you played. You beat a team like that, yeah, you deserve a little bit of respect.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still not gonna count the Giants out. And do not consider me a Giants fan when I say this. I'm not gonna count you guys out because I feel like there's still something there. I still see something but I think you need to fix a couple things. On the offense, on the defense, Graham, he has to adjust a little better. Garrett, he definitely has to adjust a little better. You can't keep using the same offense time and time after again. You have to switch it up. And that's something that Garrett has to work on.
I agree with you. I will say we said it earlier, obviously, like right before your call, and how it's not just on him, but yes, in terms of couple of the play selection, it was better than what I saw last year. You know, it was by a smidge, a little bit better than what I saw last year. For me, it left a little to be desired, but that's mostly because I think Daniel shouldn't be a dink and dunk quarterback. I think they should actually take some chances with him. You know, his best asset is throwing down the field, and he threw once or twice down the field the entire game. Garrett said that we should involve more explosive plays, and the only explosive plays he wants to involve seems to be where the wide receiver always beats his man one-on-one after he catches the ball. It seems to be only something with yards after the catch with his explosive plays. I want it to be in addition to that, not just that. But once again, yeah, it's Garrett is Judge, and while I do think Golladay should have been involved earlier, maybe have, because we ran a couple of throws that are just sort of one read throws, like you look at the receiver and you immediately get to them, run a couple of those. But also, this is now getting back to Daniel, force it to Golladay occasionally. He's your number one, and he's the type of one that's a 50-50 contested guy. So like he catches forced footballs all the time.
No, I'm completely with you on that. And the other thing that I really want to see against this team this week, Washington, when you go back and I didn't get to watch the game. They had the Eagles game here, so I was throwing up while I was watching it. But when you go back and hear how the Chargers were able to manipulate the Washington defense, everybody said it was short, quick throws over the middle. And I need to see more east-west offense with this team, kind of like Shermer. And I know that's not what Garrett is. Garrett's a north-south guy. The West Coast, I need to see that. I need to see them using Shepard more on 4 or 5 yard crossing patterns, trying to create separation over the middle, quick slants over the middle. I need more creativity with this offense. I need to see Tony use more in motion. And, of course, I need to see them stretch the field more than they did last week and get Golladay more involved earlier on. That's the only way we're beating this team. You got to get the ball out quick because I don't see our offensive line being able to hold those pass rushers, on 5-step drops routinely throughout the game.
BPS, anything?
100%. I like what Shepard did. Shepard's a beast, man. I think y'all need to put respect on that guy's name.
No. Forget the y'all. We've been
the NFL.
Not you guys.
Y'all.
Media.
Okay. Yeah. Now he's one of the best slot receivers in the game, and he gets like no attention.
Yeah. Devontae Smith's gonna be better. The best receiver in this division for years to come. So it doesn't even matter.
Sure.
I mean, he had one touchdown.
I mean, Amari doesn't exist, I guess.
Huh?
I guess Amari Cooper doesn't exist.
He's overrated.
Okay. I guess CeeDee Lamb doesn't exist.
He only.
I guess Kenny Golladay doesn't exist. I guess Terry McLaurin.
I didn't see him.
If there's a guy we need to put respect on, it's Terry McLaurin. This man's been playing with who for quarterback, bro?
McLaurin, okay.
With
I
who?
can see that. Yeah. That's probably going to be the only two in this division. Golladay, he's probably going to be out of the Giants in maybe a year. Cooper, he's overrated. Who cares about that guy?
CeeDee Lamb's pretty
Dallas
good.
Fans.
Isn't Cooper leading the NFL in receptions right now?
I'll give him that.
Yeah, Cooper had like a 140-yard game week.
Yeah, he's leading the NFL in receiving yards right now.
He played a terrible secondary.
Who did you play?
Huh?
You played the Atlanta Trash Cans.
I get that, but he was a rookie. I mean, he found open space. He found open space as a rookie. Yeah, it's very hard to do. Like this.
Listen, man. Once this man gets hit over the middle and he's knocked out for a couple weeks, you'll see what's happening, bro.
Oh my god, bro. These Giants fans, man. Yeah, y'all already took a loss, man. I don't know why y'all talking. I mean, Tana a year ago. But Hub, man, you have to accept.
You can't come on the Hub show and disrespect him like that. Hub's the man.
And Hub's the go-to. But
I'm about to say, bro, I'm like half the reasons all these small channels be on here, bro. The weekly Tuesday call-in.
Yeah, years ago. But
but
have to take that loss. You got to take it.
You know why? I take the loss, but we're really gonna act like if Philadelphia didn't take all 12 of their losses last year.
It definitely. I think that loss definitely humbled the fan base, and we need a bounce back effort this week. No doubt about it.
Was there like any players that like surprised you for their performance, like good or bad?
Definitely some
Surprise?
look bad. Bradbury being one of them.
Bradbury and Martinez were bad. Both of them did exactly what they were not supposed to do. Martinez couldn't make a tackle to save his life, it seemed like, and Bradbury gave up 6 or 7 targets. So
Yeah, good. I don't think I was surprised by anybody. The guy that I was most excited that had a good performance was Andrew Thomas, so these fans could shut the hell up. That are saying he's going to be.
We were never worried about Thomas, but the fans were.
Thomas had a game, so that was good to see because we want him to be that guy for the next 10 to 15 years. So it was good to see that and he's going to be put to the test again against Washington this week. So I'm looking forward to it.
BPS, any last thoughts before I pop you on, man?
Nothing much. Years ago, the Giants are gonna go 0-17 this year. Actually, 0-18, right? Because it's
0-18, so we make the playoffs? Oh, word?
You
Where's
guys
the
suck.
0-18?
Y'all suck. 0-17.
So what do you got? You have. I know you have the Eagles at 20-0.
Yeah, that's one.
That's obvious.
I think it's more like 7-10, 8-9, around that range.
The Giants.
I'm
You're
not
not
gonna
talking about the
say
Eagles.
12-5. That's too much.
20-0 for the Eagles, right?
What?
You're going 20-0, right? The Eagles. That's what every Eagles fan tells me.
That's our ceiling, I think. Yeah, you have a good one, Kush.
Have a good one, BPS, man. Thank you for
see you
calling in, bro.
later.
Braden Bigheart is the person next in line. That name sounds familiar, but because I'm not too familiar with it, Chris is familiar with what I'm about to talk about. There's a lot of trolls. I'm gonna just need you to quickly flash your camera on so I make sure you're not a troll before I pop you on, if that's possible. So while you're doing that, you don't need to keep it on because I'm backstage. I could see you. Just a quick flash. While you're working on that, I'll go ahead and get Bobby Murphy on, the other Eagles fan. Okay, he says he can't do it. He doesn't got one. Well, Braden, I'm taking a chance, bro. Hopefully you ain't a troll,
He's a good
bro.
subscriber, man. I don't think he's trolling. He's a good subscriber, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
not a
you know
troll.
him then. Okay, then bet. That's what's up. What's up, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We good, bro.
Right on, man.
Nothing really much. Still trying to get over that loss, though. That was really bad. I had us losing that game, but not by that much, honestly.
That's what I think it was. You know, I thought we'd win. I thought it'd be a very close game. I think I had it 17-16. But if they lost, but the defense looked good, and we lost 2014.
Yeah, we lost respectively.
And I don't think the fan base would be as up in arms as they are today. And our calling card was the defense. Everybody going into the year was confident this is a top 10 defense. For them to come out looking like that against Bridgewater, you'd be lying if you said it wasn't concerning. We need a bounce back effort this week.
Yeah, it was really bad. I had us losing 20-17 and then have us winning against Washington. So hopefully it's right, because we cannot start 0-2. I think that'd be really bad if we start 0-2, because then the Cowboys is pretty much a must win and you're going into Dallas. So that's not good, right? We're going into Dallas.
I was thinking about this today, Braden. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of optimism, even though we don't deserve it and we're not good. After week 1, there's no way I could tell you that we look like a good football team right now. That game, in my opinion, was not as bad as the final score indicated, because the way I look at it is this, and we definitely couldn't stop them on defense. That's bad. But if Garrett grows a nutsack and we are able to pick up a first down when we're backed up on our own 4-yard line, we go into the half up 7-3. We don't give the defense the opportunity to choke away that touchdown, and then that gave them momentum going in. They're up 10-7, and then they put us to sleep right after that. If we pick up one first down before the half, the Giants have a halftime lead of 7-3, and that could have changed the whole complexion of that football game. Obviously, we probably still don't win because we couldn't stop them, but there was a couple things here and there. If we stop them on the 4th and 7, they could have called a hole against Dexter Lawrence on that play. If we stop on the 4th and 1, if Martinez makes a clean tackle, if McKinney doesn't get stiff arm, there was a play here or a play there, and it would have changed the complete complexion of that game. So, we did get blown out, and while our defense looked horrible, if we make some adjustments and we improve week 2, I don't think we're as bad as we showed week 1.
Yeah, I think that too. I feel like we come into week 2. I feel like we win against Washington, and I feel like we win against Atlanta. Dallas is a question mark, but I feel like we bounce back. We play. Hopefully, our defense plays a lot better. But I just want to win. I don't care, because then we'll have 10 days rest or whatever it is. So we'll have more time to get the defense straightened out. And yeah, we just need a win. I wouldn't say it's a must win because like the season's not over if we lose, but I feel like it's close. Like I said, it's if you lose, Dallas is a must win. So and I don't like that. I don't like having to go into Dallas and must win that game. So.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying, man. I want to ask you about this. I'm gonna kind of stir the pot a little bit. Where are you with Daniel Jones?
Not that good. Like, I feel like obviously I'm not someone to try and make a lot of excuses for Daniel Jones, but I feel like he passed well, except for that really bad pass to Saquon in the end zone. That was so bad.
Yeah.
The fumble.
The red zone in general, Braden. That was the worst pass, but the red zone in general. And granted, I'm going to be as fair here. The Broncos' red zone defense is the first defense in the history of football to be number one in the red zone back-to-back years in the history of football. So the Vic Fangio defense is great in the red zone. So you have to take that into account. I knew we would struggle in the red zone. It's why I knew we needed big plays. But Daniel Jones in the red zone in that game was atrocious. And he was so bad in it last year. So that was disheartening.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. That was probably the main thing I wanted him to improve on. Yeah, turnovers are bad, but like I know you've said this before that I don't care if Daniel Jones throws like 16 interceptions this year as long as he's playing, like he's scoring. If he scores the ball, if he just
show me you could elevate the team. Show me you could have a game-winning drive in a big spot. I need to see that you're a leader of a football team.
Exactly. You got to prove that you can overcome
it was
turnovers.
Something that Diggy said earlier as well. If your interceptions are coming while you're bombing it down the field, I don't mind that either.
Yeah, me neither.
It's like a punt sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a punt, and it's also you're taking a shot as well.
But if you're doing dumb turnovers, like making a bad pass, like I just hate that. But like you said, if you're just bombing it to like Galladay or something, and they get a tip ball for an interception, like you said, Chris, it's like a punt. It's not that big of a deal. Just stop them on defense and just try again. But when you have dumb passes, dumb fumbles, dumb turnovers in general, it just kills the momentum and it kills the game. Like we've dealt with this for 3 years.
The worst part about Daniel Jones's interceptions when he does throw them is that they're like 5-yard interceptions. So it's like a turnover on downs.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Braden,
anything else, man?
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Oh, go ahead.
What's your guys' score predictions for Washington? I have them. I think I have the over when it comes to 40 and a half.
Under, actually.
Yeah, I know. I heard you say that earlier, but I have to go an over, but barely by like half a point, maybe 2. I have the Giants winning 21 to like 20. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last.
Over 40?
40 and a half.
So you got by half a point. Okay.
Yeah, and in the over, sorry, not the over under, and Washington's favored by 3.5, and I'm taking that. 3.5. I have the Giants winning 21-20. It's going to be really close, down to the wire. It's going to come down to the last possession. It's going to be a defensive win. Whoever wins, like on Ed's live stream earlier, Chris, you said whoever gets the most turnovers more likely going to win the game, and I completely agree.
That's one of those games. The defense is going to win it, and I'm trying something new. And you saw it if you were in Ed's stream.
No red hoodie.
No red hoodie, and I picked the Giants week 1 and they lost. So I'm going to go against the Giants and if they win, I'm going to keep picking against the Giants. I honestly, in my heart, feel it's literally a coin flip game. Like I feel like it could go either way. And if I was betting this game, I feel comfortable. That extra half point, I'd feel comfortable betting the Giants because if they do lose, I really feel the defense bounces back. I think it'll be a very close game. I think it'll be like a 2017 type game, one way or the other. I think it's scoring. I
feel like this game could.
I'm trying something different.
Yeah, me too. I've worn my Lawrence Taylor jersey for the past 2 years, but this game I gotta bring out my Saquon jersey and hope it does something different.
I need recommendations from either one of you guys. What do I wear? I need something. I had the red hoodie.
Or are they wearing Color Rush since it is Thursday night? Because I'm wearing my Color Rush Saquon jersey. I don't know if they're wearing.
We're wearing Color Rush not this early in the year. I think it's like later in the year.
What do I wear? What do I come out wearing?
So I wore Blake Martinez because we were at home, and he's a current player that I have the home jersey of. I'm gonna wear Kenny Galladay because we're away, and he's a current player that I have the away jersey.
I like that. I feel like he's gonna have a monster game too. That's what I said that on Twitter today. I feel like Kenny Galladay is gonna go for over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns. I have a good feeling about that. I feel like Daniel Jones is gonna force him the ball, whether like.
Well, he should.
like you saw him at the end of that game. It was garbage time, but he was making ridiculous catches. It was
And
unfair.
they saved DJ a couple times with some of those throws as well. Like one of them should have 100% been an interception.
One of
but
them
he
was
came down with it.
behind him, and he just completely
Yeah.
stole it from the defender. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I think they're gonna force feed Galladay the ball in this game. I really do. Even though he's
Yeah.
going up against William Jackson, I think they're gonna force feed him the ball in
Well,
this game.
like how tall is William Jackson? He has a size advantage by a good amount. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how tall he is, but there's no way he's 6'4".
Yeah.
The other, I'm thinking about like not taking shots down the field. The other thing that it takes away when you don't do that, pass interference penalties. It doesn't happen because how are you ever going to get a pass interference called when you're throwing 5-yard slants?
I'm glad you brought that up because there was a play, and once again, shout out to Diggy, he brought this up. He got to look at some all-22 film. Do you remember the play where he passed to Devontae Booker and it was a bad pass, so Devontae had to make that crazy one-handed catch? On that play, Sterling Shepard got held, and Sterling Shepard was going down on a sluggo route. Now, it's on the refs because they didn't call it at all. It should have been called no matter what. But if we threw it to him, they would have 100% called it, and he was going down the field. And that's what I'm saying. It's on Jason Garrett. It's on Joe Judges. I'm blaming as well. But at the end of the day, it's also on Jones for knowing where to throw the football.
Yeah, completely agree.
Braden, I'm really going to have to pop you off, though. I got a lot of
Yeah.
people in here, man. Thank you for calling on, bro. Any last thoughts before I let you go?
Yeah, go Giants.
It was a
Go
pleasure
Giants.
getting to talk to you, Braden, man. Thanks for being a great supporter on both our channels.
Welcome.
It's always good. We got Bobby Murphy up next.
Oh, no.
Bobby, what's up, man?
Oh, no.
Hey, yo.
Why he start off like that?
Yo, hey, Chris, man. I come troll on your stream and stuff, but it's all in fun, man.
No, I know it is. I know. You're just having fun, man.
Oh, what's popping?
What's good, man?
Look, be me, man. And I'm consistent. I didn't find Hub's site until one night. I think Philly notioned this ring, and he's like, him and you, Bobby, come on there, popping shit, right? But look how right I am.
What are you talking about, bro?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Listen,
Hey, listen,
what were you right about? You said the offensive line was trash. The offensive line was the least of our worries.
Chris,
yo,
I'll give you this, man. You're pretty good with the stats and the good. That's why I watch you, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I like you guys better than the Philly content creators on YouTube.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that, man. I appreciate
It's a Philly notion. Philly notion, my dog, man.
Philly
I
notion is
appreciate
super
that,
good.
man. I appreciate that.
Bird Gang
Hey, man,
31.
look, Bobby,
but
I'm gonna tell you something, Bobby. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I say it all the time. I freaking hate the Eagles, and I will say I am that when it comes to your team, I'm definitely slightly biased in terms of being overly critical because I want you guys to burn in hell. Not you, but your team. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. Not that I'm completely sold on your football team. I'm not. It's the Falcons. But I was impressed.
yo.
I did not think you were gonna look that good week one. I was impressed with
Hey, man.
with Jalen Hurts. Even though
Yo,
it was the Falcons, you got to get more of a test. But you guys look better than I thought you would.
Okay, but see, here's the thing. Last season, Carson Wentz was the worst quarterback in the league.
He was.
Offensive line decimated. Out of 5 starters, the only one left standing was Kelsey. We had 14 different line combinations. Now, when healthy, and you can, just go look at the stats, pull them back up. In like 2019, we had the number 1 O-line in the league, even though Jason Peters was falling off, in and out of the games and all, But now, kept plugging in that Bellotta. It's a rugby player in the 7th round.
What did you think of that
The
signing,
dude-
by the way?
The dude, you know what? I think, Chris, if he comes out this year and had a monster year, left tackles, that's your most important position. Besides quarterback, on your whole team, he protects the blind side of a right-handed quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have that.
I completely agree. The left tackle is the second, and I know the.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole, dude. It's just I
No,
get
no, but
frustrated.
I know left tackle is by far after the quarterback, in my opinion, is the second most important position. The only thing is, and I don't know him as well as you do. I don't watch every Eagles game. He only had 10 starts. Like you said, he's a former rugby player. If he works out to be a really good tackle, it's a brilliant move because you paid him below market value. If you wait a year and he has a great year, you're going to end up paying him probably $4 or $5 more million
I mean, he's
per year.
doing, you figure like this, Chris. They drafted Dillard and traded up to get him in the first round.
I wanted Dillard.
He was highest rated tackle at the time. He sucks. They got Malad in the 7th. Slowly with Jeff Stoutland. He's from Alabama. He's the best O-line coach in the league. He takes these guys and he just, I don't know, man. He knows what he's doing. He's ready to leave in the offseason to go back to Alabama. Obviously, our owner paid up and said, "Nah, man. All new staff. Everybody else on the whole staff is new, except Jeff Stoutland." We had 4 out of 5 offensive linemen backups, 14 different line combinations. It was a league record. Okay, so we finished 4-11-1 with the worst quarterback in the league, Carson Wentz. And I'm so glad that Ginger is gone. He's soft. His teammates didn't like him. And it's a fact. Them stories weren't false. I knew he was a loser from the jump. But then in 2017, and he came out lighting it up, I said, well, hey, but, we all guess and we all could be wrong, right? I mean, these experts are getting paid big money. We're just hanging out on YouTube, are wrong every day. This
like
guy's lost. This guy can't play.
Half the time.
You know what I'm saying? This guy can't do that. This guy can't do this. Okay. So anyway, we got lucky with a project player, and look at that guy. He just signed a big ass contract, $64 million. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean,
I was
surprised. I was surprised when you guys did it.
But I think you might know more about this. They said the top rate rugby player gets like little over $1 million.
Yeah, NFL is the only sport and NBA that pays like this. North American sports pay a lot of money.
Baseball too.
So,
baseball, ridiculous contract.
I mean, to be honest, and they said he was pretty good in rugby. This guy's taken a hit for the last couple of years playing the NFL on a 7th round contract.
So where is this leading to? Where do you see the Eagles going, bro?
Dude, I'm not delusional. I'm really not. I actually thought this last game was going to be close. We haven't won in Atlanta since 2009. Now, we don't play Atlanta every year, but we've met them in the playoffs, but we don't play them in the regular season every year. They ain't like how we play you guys and, Washington, Dallas, I think it was like, five losses in Atlanta since 2009. So, I'm realistic. See, I'm not like these. I don't have pom-poms. I don't own them. I keep it real. And Hub, you got to give me this. I've been consistent this whole off season. I just said, if my team, the Eagles, if they can come back healthy and stay healthy, and Kelsey's 33, Lane Johnson's like 30, 31. Brandon Brooks, he's the best right guard in the league. But the dude's had 2 Achilles, a shoulder injury, and shit. I didn't even know he was going to play this week because they were saying he had a knee problem. And we're paying him big money. Okay. You guys are more into the Giants. You're going to see how my team rolls. And I'm thinking, man, 9, 10 wins. Maybe.
That's a lot.
If Hurts is the dog.
Yeah.
I don't judge shit off one game, right? But I watched this kid play for his 3 years at Alabama, because I watch a lot of college football. You know, I mean, no disrespect or nothing, but a lot of NFL fans. I know when I lived in Jersey, right? That's NFL. You're either an Eagles fan, you're a Giants fan, you're a Redskins fan, maybe for Baltimore. That's how we roll. We don't really roll with Pens, all that shit, unless you're a diehard.
Mm-hmm.
When you come down to the South, dude.
I'm gonna say this about your team: if you win this week,
Against the 49ers,
if you beat because I'm looking at your schedule right now. After that, I have you losing at Dallas. I have you losing to the Chiefs. I probably have you losing at Carolina. I probably have you. I'll get no. You know what? I'm going to be fair.
Right.
I will give you one out of those.
I was kind of rolling with you a little bit.
I'll give you one out of those.
You got the Carolina part.
At Dallas, Kansas City, at Carolina, Tampa. I'll give you a win there out of those 4. If you beat,
do you want to know what's really going to happen?
What? What's going to happen?
This game's going to be a little tricky because I didn't like our run defense in the first quarter. Atlanta with Cordell Patterson and Mike Davis, they were running the ball down our throats. I said, "Holy fuck! I'm going to have to go back on Hub's string and embarrass myself because Hub, you got to give me this. I'm consistent, right?"
You always say the same thing.
I ain't a Cowboys fan. No, but I ain't a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
No, I ain't a Cowboys fan and go hide in the closet like a cockroach.
Mm-hmm.
Win or lose, I'll take my medicine.
Yeah.
You feel me? I just try to give it back to you guys to know. Now, okay. You guys were talking so much shit.
Listen.
I'll be the first to say I was.
I was.
No, I'd be happy too. Don't get me wrong. Your GM spending money. Boom, bang. Big pimping. You guys got the top free agent wide receiver. I'm not gonna lie. Our secondary sucks. I'm like, motherfucker, get to Dory Jackson. Come on, man. Come on, Howie. You guys got him. Oh, you beat us again. Right? How's that turning out?
It's one game, but not a good start.
No, I'm just saying, though. Come on, Chris. Here's my problem.
Not a good start, man.
I love that 50-50 ball jumper like Galladay is, right? He's that possession guy. But if your line can't block to let the dude do what he does and get downfield.
Here's the thing, though. Our line wasn't bad that game.
The pass protection wasn't bad.
On this one. Okay. Well, all right. The run blocking, dude.
Yeah.
The run blocking was a little bit. I don't think. But we're talking about allowing receivers to develop. With their routes to develop. The pass blocking was fine. It's the run block that was bad.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Early on in that game, I did Hub. I kept coming on. This before it even went. For weeks now, I've been saying, and I wasn't being just an asshole, dude. Not because I hate the Giants. I'm saying Denver's going to drop the L on you. It was just a bad matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Their strength is the defensive line. And their secondary, all right, they got Surtain, a little young, but they're coming up. I'm like, oh, that's a bad matchup for the Giants. And then you got Galladay, who's been hurt with a hamstring, missed most camp. Tony can't find his shoes. Then he gets COVID. The kid's had bad luck. I'll give him that. He's had some bad luck. But he's more like hey, Chris. He reminds me more of like a Percy Harvin type.
That's the type of player he is.
You know what I'm saying? I think you guys reached Hub during draft time, dude. During draft time. I know you guys wanted Devontae Smith bad.
Not me.
You guys hate it. Hub and KB,
You know,
Yeah, come on.
I don't know if you're watching my
I
channel.
mean, you could check my draft stream and my draft videos leading up
Chris,
to it.
I
wanted Waddle.
don't think I was on your channel yet.
Okay.
I don't think
Here's what I'll say, Bobby.
draft time.
I said in January when people had Devontae Smith going 3 that he was going to drop to the Giants, and I thought the Giants were going to take him. That I will say, I always wanted Rashawn Slater. That's the only player I wanted if he fell to us, and I was pissed when we didn't take him. That's who I wanted.
For me, I wanted one of the two Alabama receivers, Smith or Waddle.
This is hard for me to say, but listen to Chris, because you know what, Chris? Now that you said that, I do remember Chris was saying Slater, O-line, whoever the best lineman available at that time. Now, it's known that Gettleman wanted Smith. When we traded up with Dallas, I was even shocked. We moved down from 6 to 12. Got a first-round pick with Miami. I'm thinking, shit, all right. We're still going to get a good player. But I was more thinking corner. Surtain and what's the other one? The other top corner that went early.
Horn.
JC Horn.
Okay. So at that point, I'm thinking maybe they were going to take Parsons. But we don't draft linebacker. Or RG, they don't believe, that's not our philosophy. If you look back, we went O-line or D-line, I think, 10 out of the last 12 years. Last year we went Rieger, which, I ain't going to lie, kind of a mistake. Jefferson was right there. But Rieger had a touchdown now. He was all right. Hey, Devontae Smith, he can't catch. I heard this, and it kind of bothered me.
He's going to be good.
Dude, I was watching a lot of the I pay attention, dude. I try not to be stupid. I don't listen to what people say. As best as I could, I was watching like training camp things. They hardly played him in the preseason. The dude catches everything. Devontae Smith don't drop passes.
Bobby.
Is he slender?
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Not to rush you or anything, but I'm gonna have to ask you to get to the point so I could get the other callers on, bro. It's 12.
Well, all right. I'll get to the main point.
Yeah.
You guys are Giants fans. You don't give a fuck about Devontae Smith, but you just watch him roll. The first catch in his career was a touchdown.
That's a great way to start the career, man. And I'll say this: not only did Jalen Hurts prove me a little bit wrong because he looked great, I gotta give props to Sirianni as well because he made the offense so that Hurts would succeed.
I watched this kid play 3 years in Alabama, all the Tua bullshit. Saban's not the easiest coach in the world to deal with. He's a perfectionist. If you're not perfect, he will yank you and pull you out. Right? In those games. Oh, what about he went with Tua over Hurts? Tua got hurt. Who came in to win that SEC championship game? Jalen Hurts brought him back. They were in the toilet. I watched this guy do it. He brought them back. They won the game. They went on to the next one. Tua came back, and they won the national championship. Okay. Jalen Hurts transfers. He goes to Oklahoma. He became, under Lincoln Riley, to become a better passer. This dude was thrown into the fire last season because Carson Wentz was awful. There's only 32 teams. He's not even 32. He was 35th. 35th. And this kid came in, all right, he went 1-3. Actually, he went 1-2 because on the third game, they pulled him. We would have won the game. You guys would have made the playoffs, but we wanted to hire a draft pick, so we tanked. You guys were a little salty about that, huh, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I still want to sweep your ass this year.
Yeah, I still think we're going to destroy
you. God,
of
all things, it was a divisional game. I wish it was out of conference or out of, or at least out of division.
You guys did it against Washington, man.
It's like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Do you let the Giants in? Or you let the Redskins in? Because I hate the
I mean, yeah,
Redskins too.
you're right. It's the lesser of two evils. Because if we went in, we would have won the championship. But that's neither here nor
But
there.
you know, I mean, at that point, you got to be us, right?
Mhm.
This division was so bad up until the last couple of weeks. It was still anybody's division, right?
Mhm.
Now, when week 17 came, what do we got to win? But a higher draft pick, and believe me, we needed it.
Hey man, we'll see how it works out. Bobby,
You know,
we got
you know what gets me. You know what gets me, Chris. Chris, you know what gets me?
Yeah.
There was and I posted part of the article to Hub's one of his posts. I should have maybe posted it to you. Gettleman, when he came in 2018, right? He was talking about the rebuild, how to rebuild a team, and he said, "We got to look." He said, "Look at a team like the Eagles."
Bobby.
Yo.
I'm gonna ask you once again to get to the point, my man.
I'm telling you, all your problems right now are happening because of Dave Gettleman.
I agree. Unless this team turns around this year, I agree.
I mean, yeah, he put the players on the field.
He built this team ass backwards. When he came, I was just getting to that point, Hub. In 2018, when he came in, he was hired. He said he was going to build the team from the trenches out. He said, as Howie Roseman did of the Philadelphia Eagles. He said, look how he. Now, here's what he did. He like this year, he did try to draft. I mean, well, before he tried to draft early in the draft, Andrew Thomas. Do you know when he drafted Andrew Thomas at number 4, he was the worst rated offensive lineman at the time that he drafted him.
That's a lie.
I still like Andrew Thomas, but that's
a lie. That's a lie. I made a whole video disproving that. You could go check it out, Bobby. I made a whole video disproving that statement that Andrew Thomas was the worst rated tackle.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
Andrew Thomas is probably the only first round pick he's made that I loved since I love Saquon Barkley, but on draft night I prefer to trade him. Daniel
Chris,
Jones,
really?
I did not love the pick on draft night.
You love the Andrew Thomas pick?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I still think.
Did you not see what he did this week?
I still think he's going to be a really good left tackle.
He was the best pass blocking left tackle, offensive lineman in general in the league this year.
The Tony pick, I was just telling you about the value we got for the trade.
I'm just telling you at draft time, right? I'm just telling you at draft time. When the Giants took him at number 4, a lot of draft experts were saying they picked the worst one of the bunch.
Once again, Bobby, all I'm going to say is I have documented evidence that, that's false. I have a whole video showing what Andrew Thomas's grades were at draft time.
All right. Like I said, draft experts are wrong all the time. Here's my problem. I watched him in the last preseason game, and I believe within like a quarter and a half, he gave up 2 sacks.
I'm gonna ask you this: did you watch him in the first regular season game? The first regular season game.
All right.
The first regular season game. I'm not gonna say anything else. The first regular season game.
I think Daniel Jones.
The first regular season game.
I think he
That's
sucks.
fine.
But I will.
Bobby, we gotta let you go. We gotta get a couple.
He throws he throws a nice deep ball, right?
Bobby, once again, I'm gonna have
your
to get you
O-line can't block.
You know what?
Galladay disappears because your O-line can't block long enough for him to throw him the deep ball.
You're right.
Chris,
you're right.
I'll troll you later. Hub, I'll be back. If I can educate you guys any further next week.
But the O-line wasn't that bad. The O-line was the least of our worries.
I've been telling people to calm down about it. If there was one pick that, and again, I would have been happy. Obviously, with trade. There was 3 guys I'm fine there: Wills, Wirfs, or Thomas on draft night at number 4. That's what I wanted. And you're seeing why I didn't want Mekhi Becton. He's had another injury. And that's the problem. I know he had a great rookie year, but you've seen so many injury problems with him since he's already entered the league. So I'm still happy they took Thomas.
Shout out to Chislo for $2. What are your predictions for Thursday's game? Chris already said his earlier. I'm gonna say 9-6. I don't know who wins, but 9-6.
9-6.
Yeah. Shout out to Simon Z for the $2 super chat. He says, blame Dave Gettleman for the O-line. Rest of the team is talented. I blame Dave Gettleman for everybody that's on the field, whether you want to say blame as a good thing or a bad thing, because he put everybody that's on the field on the field. is what I'll say to
Listen, man,
that.
at the end of the day, Gettleman, we defend Gettleman when we feel like, it's appropriate. And we've tried to back Gettleman. At the end of the day, this is the end. I mean, if this team doesn't show growth this year, it's obvious that change needs to be made. This was the year, and the year just started. So, he may or may not be a failure. But if this year is bad, he's a failure. And it's not just him. Mara, to me, is a huge, huge problem. Everything stems back to 2015 for me. That's where this mess really started. And Mara's the main problem with this football team. And we could talk about that for hours. But Gettleman will absolutely be viewed as a failure if this is a bad season.
So, yeah, I'm going to get these next callers on here, guys. Because, and Bobby, you can't say I don't let you on. Don't give you time. I gave you a whole 20 minutes, bro. It's been literally 20 minutes just for your part. But because of that, I got to give everybody else that comes on now like 2 questions at most. And then we just going to get them in, get them out. I need to get some sleep. Alex, what's up, man? How you doing?
Okay, so I'm not going to waste your guys' time totally. I'm running on 5 hours of sleep. I woke up at 6 this morning for college. So real quickly, it's bad enough the Giants lost, but we got Arthur Smith over here basically for the Eagles winning. But I'll give you one shout out, man, and just like one quick question for you before I just give him my basic thoughts, because he's got like 100 other people in the studio probably after that hella long conversation. Props to you. Mets beat the Yankees 2-3 in the series. Yeah, and then
the Yankees then.
Well, they won today. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the fact of what what Baez and Lindor did in terms of the fans, and do you still like them as people and not as players?
Lindor, I have no choice but to like. He's going to be a Met for the next 10 or 11 years. But what I will say about what Baez did, I mean, he was completely in the wrong. Now, if he plays well, fans will forget about it. Believe me. Fans forgive when you're winning baseball games. But he was completely in the wrong. I mean, the fans pay that. As I always say it all the time, man. As long as you don't do anything in terms of a personal attack, you don't say something about his wife, his kids, whatever. If you're just booing the guy, the fans have every right to boo. When you have a baseball team that, we've been deprived as long as we have, you bring in a new owner, you spend all the money that you spend, and the team's losing baseball games and they're playing the way that they are. Listen, it's New York, man. I know that you're coming from the Cubs, the lovable losers where they don't boo anybody, but I'm sorry, man. You got to learn to play with that. It's New York City. When you're a hero, you see what we do with Eli Manning. We'll defend that guy till the day he dies because the guy won his 2 championships. You're a god. But when you fail, you're going to hear about it. And, he was completely in the wrong when he said what he said.
Yeah, and then with the whole, obviously, thumbs down thing, I'm surprised Pilar actually participated in it, knowing how much support he got after he got hit in the head. But with that being said, in terms of my Giants points, I'm going to make it short, sweet, to the point. I don't like how this game went. I think we can win on Thursday against Washington. After all, even though, he was only in the game for, how many minutes, whatever, Taylor Heineke only threw for 143 yards on 14 passing attempts. Not too impressive, but once again, that's stats, whatever. We have to, our ground game was pretty good in terms of defense before that Melvin Gordon run. That's what I felt. In terms of pass defense, man, we can't be letting anybody get beat over the middle. Noah Fant, even though he only got like 62 receiving yards, we can't let the tight end, just destroy us. And Jabril Peppers wasn't looking good, and neither was the back end of the secondary. Blake Martinez looked horrible. I mean, I literally threw my hat to the ground when he didn't tackle.
Bro, I was out here. I almost took this off when that happened, bro.
Yeah. Couldn't happen there. Can't happen there.
No, and it's behind the sticks too. That's what really pissed me off. And then there was one play that wasn't even a touchdown. That big KJ Hamler drop. I'm like, what are you doing?
And there was another play.
KJ Hamler burnt us like 3 times.
There was another play where it was the only bad throw Bridgewater made all game, where they had Noah Fant wide open down the right sideline, and he underthrew it. Mm-hmm. Our secondary was a joke. I do think some of it had to do with the game plan of Patrick Graham, for sure. I think a lot of it had to do with that. But we were getting cooked left and right all game. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, especially there was another play. I think this was after we turned it over on downs or we had that fumble, wide open on the right sideline, KJ Hamler, Dory Jackson, or Logan Ryan's the nearest guy. I'm like, how is this guy not covered? But just as overall for the defensive side, I'm very disappointed. We can talk about the offense for the next 24 hours, it seems like, because obviously I have my faults. I thought the offense did good in some points and moving the ball, but Daniel Jones, Jason Garrett, Sterling Shepard was a good piece in the offense. The offensive line didn't look bad in terms of pass blocking. Ben Bredesen is the weakest link, and I said it, and I end up being proven right. When I looked up and did the research earlier, that when they put Bredesen in, the running game was just, whatever it was going down, because Shane Lemieux actually did well in that one Saquon Barkley 5-yard carry, which was the longest. And without Daniel Jones rushing 2.3 yards per carry, you cannot get that done against Washington. Sterling Shepard, in my opinion, has to be a real big factor like he was on Sunday against the Broncos. Same thing has to be said with Washington. We have to get some receivers involved, and I hate some of the stick routes. Obviously, we could talk about that all day. I really need to see Caden Smith involved. Like Kyle Rudolph.
Thank you. Yes. Slow. Even like I was surprised because Kyle Rudolph struggled whenever they threw a ball to him. Basically, I was surprised they just didn't get Smith involved, almost as if he didn't have that, a proof on his resume of being successful with the Giants and that Week 3 preseason game.
I'm gonna throw out another name that you didn't mention that I thought he sucked, and he was a guy that I was really looking forward to based off his preseason. Will Hernandez sucked.
Oh yeah,
in that football game, and I didn't need the PFF grade to tell me. I watched the game back. Whether it was run blocking, whether it was pass blocking, they were blowing right by him, and I was really disappointed with that because that's a guy that and he fools me every freaking year. But that was a guy. He lost weight. He came in. He looked really good in preseason. We saw him pull. I think in that first preseason game, I'm like, wow, this guy looks like a different player. And he was the worst guy in the offensive line week 1. And that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, and Solder had some good snaps, but I want to see Parrott out there. But, once again, going back to my original point, offense is offense. We've been talking about this for almost a year now. It's kind of like an old story that probably may not change. Obviously, Joe Judge said, he kind of put a smoke screen out there, but once again, we'll find out Thursday whether it's a smoke screen. The defense, man, it's just disappointing.
I don't even know if it's smoke screen because we thought it was a smoke screen. At least I did. Yeah. When he said we're gonna start slow and yeah.
And I was fooled by that as well, but I guess it came to fruition. But the defense, and I don't want to compare it to 2017. I really don't. But the defense, it was a different thing because, our defensive backs started getting injured and all those players in 2017. But you can't have a new problem. And Authentic made a great point when I came on here on Sunday. He basically said, Patrick Graham, he's got his good games and he's got his bad. What were the adjustments in the Philadelphia game? That was really the defense other than Evan Ingram dropping that pass, the 49er game, the Raven game. What really pissed me off just about this team in general, even Daniel Jones, once again, flat out line. There's no, this, and this. It's flat out the whole team lost. Is that how do you come out just worse than you were in the first half? That's what really pissed me off. And I think they will have a better game than they did Sunday, but I need to see some encouragement. I need to see an encouraging game, and they could lose this week, in my opinion. I'm not going to give up on the season totally. I need to see something encouraging because the next week after, 12 days after, is going to be Atlanta, and they look like garbage right now. But once again, it's the Giants, so it could definitely be close.
Man. Yeah, you don't know. But I'm with you, man. As a content creator, obviously as a Giants fan, but as a content creator, I don't want to have to come on here and talk for 12 days after the New York Giants get off to an 0-2 start. And you know what the questions are going to be. Who we drafting that quarterback? Okay, should we start rooting for this team to lose? The season's over. The stadium's going to burn to the ground. And I don't want that. I want to look forward to coming live and talking New York Giants football. And I cannot remember, Big Blue. I cannot remember the last time that there was a game week 2 that meant so much, not just for the Giants, but for the other team we're playing. It is a must-win game, really, for both teams. And like you said, I'm not going to say the season's over if we lose, but it's certainly in jeopardy. And for Washington, when you look at their upcoming schedule, they better win this game. So it is such a big game for both teams on Thursday.
Nothing for me to add. I agree with everything.
Yeah, I'm just going to place a final remark there. Going back to basically what I just said, Defense needs to improve vastly because I don't want, once again, everybody just, they're talking about the offense. We've been talking about that for over a year now. Us complaining is probably not going to do anything, just making talking points. The defense, man, they need to shore up because this is the stuff we saw with James Betcher. I know they blitzed more, and I really appreciated that, but no tackling and not getting to the quarterback. And it was also another play I want to mention real quick. Teddy Bridgewater leaning towards the sideline. He was being pressured. It was Ojulari missed a tackle, and then he throws across his body, and he hits KJ Hamler in the middle of the field. I'm like, where's the coverage, man? So I hope that my expectation, in my opinion, is for the defense to do better. I really want to see that happen.
Has to.
And
got to come out with a better game plan. I put most of the defensive struggles week 1 on Patrick Graham. I do. I think he came out with a horrible game plan, and the poor tackling. It was poor tackling, but he came out with a horrible game plan, and he made no adjustments at the half at all.
Yeah, and I also would like to say, like you brought up, this has happened before in the games that you brought up, and it's just like, all right, when forget in-game adjustments, when he's going to do out-of-game adjustments and just learn how to, come back when you're being down or learn how to get off on 3rd and 4th downs and stuff like that when a team is killing you.
Yeah, definitely. My last part of remarks is that, if you want to make an excuse for the offense, you can. I'm not making excuses. But, you could say, oh, Tony was out in the preseason. They had one guy out in the preseason. That was Adoree Jackson, while Radarius Williams was impressing in training camp. Who else they have out? I can't name anyone. So my biggest expectation, I'm not going to expect the offense to change. If it does change, if the Giants actually get some more than 20 points on the board, I'll be really surprised. Shout outs to, I think someone else said it, Alex says it. Nate Solder looks like he lost weight, and I don't see that as honestly, I don't see that as a good thing because he was just getting shoved into Daniel Jones by Von Miller. But just most of all, man, I expect the Giants to win. If they don't, I better see something encouraging, or we're gonna be talking negative for 12 days before the Atlanta matchup, and the Atlanta matchup really means a lot with Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Very good point. Very good point. And I'm gonna tell you another guy who needs to play much better. Danny Shelton needs to play much better in this game. I thought he was horrible week 1.
Him and Austin Johnson, I had better expectations
for. I feel like Austin Johnson just played slightly better.
Yeah, that's the thing. He should have played better than slightly better than Danny Shelton.
Yeah.
Good point there.
Alex, thank you for calling in, man, and thank you for keeping this short. Have a good one, bro. Go Giants.
Peace out.
Be good, buddy.
Next up, we got Miz. Miz, what's up, man? What in the world? Miz, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Bro, what's up, guys? What's going on? Chris Hub.
What's going on, Miz?
Listen, man, I don't want to spend more than 30 seconds on that other Eagle guy there over there. But you know what? That's how you behave when you have no expectations and you're shocked you won a game. That's how you know he knows his team's a trash can. Come back in here in 6 weeks. Let's see where you guys stand. How about that?
I like it, man.
Watched 4 Super Bowl rings, okay? So come back and talk to me another time.
Miz, I gotta know how you're feeling, man. I know you worked up after the first game. Have you calmed down a little bit?
I calmed down. I took a flight home from Florida today. I calmed down. I thought about it. I watched a little more sports, a little more dogging the Giants. We stink. We're 30th on their
power rankings.
The power rankings. Listen, I calmed down. Let's go there Thursday night. Let's grind out a dirty. It's going to be a dirty game, man. Don't expect the beautiful. The Giants offense will come along. Chris. Hub knows. But it's going to take a few. We knew this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game hurt.
The question is, though, Miz, can we afford for it to take a few weeks?
Well, I told you that in the list.
We need a Seattle game from the defense. We need the defense to show up and carry us to a win.
We need the defense to be the exact opposite of what it was last week, which is allowing a team to be on there for an hour.
Yeah.
We all know the defense is going to show up Thursday because they were a little bit embarrassed the other day. You know it. I seen it in Pepper's face. He got abused. He's not used to getting abused. So
what did you think of the snap count? Pepper's barely played. He only played 35% of the snaps. I was surprised.
I think the reason he barely played is because when he was in there, he wasn't doing good.
Is the coverage. Yeah, he was getting cooked in coverage.
By Fant, right? Mostly?
Yeah, Noah Fant was killing him.
And that's not really Pepper's strength. We know that. He's got to be up on the line of scrimmage. He's a hitter. Listen, the defense had it. I'm not saying because people got into arguments with me. I got into arguments with people. People, that I didn't want to blame the defense, but I also see it like this. When you can't sustain drives and your defense is left on the field for like 3.5 quarters, like it felt like, you know what I mean? Your defense is going to wear it down. And
The offense certainly shouldn't be blameless in this game.
Yeah.
But for me, that excuse goes out the window in this game for me because the defense did it to themselves. Like the offense barely could touch the ball in the first half because
I was gonna say, think about this: the defense was bad before they got gassed out. They were missing
gassed
tackles
themselves.
and blowing
They gassed
coverage
themselves.
before they
That's
gassed out.
They gave up a long drive, but they made up with it with that strip fumble deep in our zone. So they saved a drive right there, but they did give up a long drive.
Too long in the first half. And then before, I don't care how gassed you might be, it's the first half. It's the first game of the year. They got the ball at midfield with 48 seconds left. You let them score a touchdown. That cannot happen.
Yeah, that was bad, man. And I'll tell you, and I told Hub the other day, one of the biggest turning points of the game came really early, and a lot of people won't agree with it. But when you get that bomb, and then you get a stupid little trick play blown up 6.5 yards in the backfield. Now you just took yourself out of at least 3 points that you knew in a game where 3 points is going to feel like 10 because you know you're in for a big, a grinded out defensive game. That field goal was huge. Not coming away with points that drive, I think it killed us. That killed us right there. You know? And then, of course, Jones thinks he's going to run over linebackers. That's where I went crazy in my video, man. I can't. I love the guy. I have his jersey. I back him up. Hub knows I've stood up for Jones the entire time. I still believe in him. But, man, it's starting to run thin, Chris. It's starting to.
It should be.
I understand he wants to run over a linebacker because
he's not built like that.
And he wants to show everyone what he could do. But
this is what I'm going to say, man. And I'm not going to excuse the things that he did in the game. The fumble was horrible. His inability to score in the red zone, although, like I said earlier, he was going up against an elite red zone defense, was bad. I said going into the year, the first 2 weeks, the offense was going to be bad. It was going to be satisfactory at best. So for me, I am going to give Jones weeks 3, 4, 5, 6 to really analyze him. See Saquon Barkley when we hope he's really Saquon Barkley. When he's got some familiarity with Galladay. The first 2 weeks, of course, I'm going to criticize Jones when he does bad things. But this year, for me, I need to see more than 1-2 games to really get a true look at Daniel Jones. And the Giants have to give Jones that chance. You know, you invested all these weapons. You saw Denver give Bridgewater a chance. They said when Teddy Bridgewater, fourth and 7, Teddy, go do it. You're going up against what we think is a good defense. Go do it. 4th and 2, we could kick the field goal. We could take the points. Teddy, go do it. We believe in you. The Giants showed in that game, and it may not just be Jones. Their offensive line is certainly part of it, but they showed in that game, we don't believe in you. And
they showed not only did they show they didn't believe in him, they're not. It's the same thing we say every time. He doesn't make the plays that he should, but also when he is out there, it's not like they call the plays that are help him succeed.
Yeah, but exactly, and I just want Jones to have a chance this year. I want him to fail or succeed. I don't want to end the year being like, well, they didn't give him a chance to, find out what you got at your quarterback. That's what this year's about. And like I said, I predicted going into the year, the fan base was going to flip out the first 2 weeks about Jones in the offense. And then I thought week 3 on, it was going to start to pick up. And hopefully I'm right. Hopefully it picks up week 2. But,
because Atlanta's the perfect game for Barkley and Jones to break out, of course. But, man, I just feel like, honestly, this game Thursday night, I hate to say this. I already told these guys, it's week 2, and we have a must-win on our hands. I hate to say it, but we do, man.
Damn close to it. If it's not a must-win, it's as close to as. Here's what I'll say: if we don't win, obviously the Atlanta game's a must-win, and then you have to steal a game. You have to either win in New Orleans, which we know is not going to be easy.
But we can do that because it's not even in New Orleans. I know they beat up Green Bay, but they got up for that game. But the game's not even in New Orleans. You know what I mean?
No, it's confirmed that it's going to be back in New Orleans.
I think, right?
Oh, it's
back in New Orleans.
Yeah,
yeah, they changed it. Yeah.
Hey, but still, I wouldn't put it past us.
We could win, but I think we're underdogs. And this is a big game. The Giants, a big game, big game.
This is a big game, man.
Yeah.
And you're going up against, some people are Heineke's better than Fitz. Listen, The Giants should be able to beat Heineke, and I don't think we're going to need. I think if you could get to 20, you win this game. I really feel that way.
The other thing I want to say about Heineke, actually, that I think Ed Oliver, when I was on his channel, brought up a good point. It's one thing for a quarterback to look good when he comes in mid-game, because the defense doesn't have – they didn't prepare for him. They prepared for Fitzpatrick. It's another thing to look good when you start from the beginning of a football game, because the Giants are game planning now for Tyler Heineke. He has an advantage when he comes into a game because the teams don't know what to expect when he comes in mid-game. So I'll throw that out there as well. So I do think the Giants will game plan better in this game, and I do think they'll keep them. They'll keep that offense under wraps. I do believe that. It's just a matter of can our offense put up enough points.
Shout out to John Kim for the $5 super chat. He says KT needs to start over Slayton. Slayton can't catch anything. He won't be able to catch even a beach ball. Pat needs to call blitz. Needs to stop calling blitz first, second, and not third down.
People overreact, man. Slayton caught the bomb earlier in the game, didn't he? Huh? Everybody forgot about that one.
I mean, are we gonna live off of one catch though? It's like let's not act as if,
but we're not gonna.
I know, but let's not act as if Slayton has had the same problem since his rookie year and he hasn't done anything to fix it. Very much like Evan Ingram.
I know. Let me ask you guys a question. What's the real problem with this offense? Is it Garrett or is it not? The play calling, man. I don't want to.
Miz. Well, I'm gonna repeat very quickly what I said earlier. Jason Garrett's is definitely part of the problem if we're talking about the offense, but so is Joe Judge.
Yep.
Because Joe Judge is the reason this offense is so conservative. Jason Garrett likes long drive offenses, but he takes his shot. We saw him. We played against him for almost 20 years. This is not what Jason Garrett ran. Let me
ask you.
Joe Judge is the reason it's conservative. And then you also got to put it on DJ for missing a lot of open guys that were down the field that game.
Let me ask you a question, Miz. When, I don't know, when I'm trying to put this in perspective. When the president of the United States, when say the stock market drops and plummets, who takes the brunt of the blame? Is it the director of finance or whatever it may be, or is it the president? It's the guy in charge. And yes, people like to put their venom at Jason Garrett, right? But at the end of the day, Joe Judge is in charge. Joe Judge is responsible for Jason Garrett. He's responsible for the game plan. That he's not responsible for the play calling or the scheme, but he absolutely is involved in the offensive game plan. And for people to just turn a blind eye to that, that's not being fair. Judge needs to take some responsibility.
Especially during the game, too. He could go up to Garrett and be like, yo, listen, you need to call some more deep shots. You need to call some more crosses. He's not doing that.
It's a collaborative effort. And what I've learned as a fan of the New York Giants and a fan in general, fans like to pick on one guy. They did it with Pat Shurmur, and Pat Shurmur sucked, but he was not the only problem. There was multiple problems on the team, and now Garrett's becoming the punching bag. Yeah, he's a problem, but he is not the only problem. There is multiple problems with the offense.
Look,
and Gettleman is too, by the way. The offensive line. So, it's everybody.
Just real quick, you got to go to somebody else, right? You have to go to someone else. But just real quick, I want to give you real quick 1 second. 3 guys. I'm going to call out 3 guys that have to come up and show up Thursday night. Okay, you ready? Number 1, I'm expecting big things, and I didn't see it the other day out of Carter. Okay, he needs to get that pass rush going. Number 2, Leo. I don't want to know that it was all Thomas, Delvin. I want to know that he could do it without the guy. I didn't see it the other day. But
he did get a sack, though. Yeah.
He didn't get credited for it, though.
And number 3.
He should have gotten it. But I don't think he got credited for it.
Okay.
All right. And the third guy, and Hub knows, I'm probably one of the few guys who's been ringing his bell all summer long, man. The Giants need Ingram to play. He's a big weapon over the middle, and he opens up the field. And a lot of people thought, we could just get rid of him. No, Ingram is important to this offense. That's it.
Not gonna play, but I agree with you that he would have helped on game 1. I agree with that. That was clearly missing in the offense. The other guy I'm going to continue to say is Shelton. I think we need to do.
All right.
We do have to do much better in the defensive interior in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And one more guy I didn't like the other day, but I know he's much better. I give him a little chance because of the little injury he had. I got to see a better coverage out of Jackson. Go ahead, guys. It's a good talk to you guys. I'll be listening.
Be good, Miz.
Thank you for calling in, Miz. Have a good one. Joel, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? What's up, Joel?
Guys,
you don't call in early
late.
anymore, bro.
Huh?
What's up? You don't call in anymore, bro.
Man, I'm a busy dude. I mean, I might be
Stop
old, but damn it, I ain't
bro.
dead.
Stop
There's the cap right there. There's the cap
There
right
you
there.
go.
Okay.
Where's the dog at?
Yeah, woof woof. Well, listen, this is the worst possible loss the Giants could have had week 1. Every Giants fan is looking for blame.
Mm-hmm.
Every Giants fan is looking for something to be angry at. And the problem is nobody can just sit there and put their finger on it. Nobody can say, like last year we lost, it was Daniel's fault. The defense let us down. The offensive line let us down. Ingram let us down. There was always one or two things during the game you could point to and say, that's the reason we lost. We had a game where we can't do that at all. And now everyone wants to blame Dave Gettleman. You guys loved his draft. Don't laugh, Hub. Seriously. Y'all loved his draft. You love the players that he's been getting for the last 3 drafts. We were ecstatic. And Chris and myself, I wanted an offensive lineman in the draft. So did Chris. But we also said that Gettleman did a damn good job getting the lineman that we wanted last year.
Andrew Thomas.
Okay. And then we said we have to let these guys develop.
Yep.
And then Judge came out and said, you know what? We feel confident in our offensive line. And then what happened? You know what? It was nowhere near spectacular, but it was serviceable on the pass.
On the pass. I agree with that.
Okay.
I like what we had in pass protection.
Now, everyone that wants to blame Daniel Jones, what was his numbers in the first quarter?
Great. 130 QB rating, 9 to 12,
And then,
130 yards.
but then the patterns changed. The routes changed. The offense changed. Did you see?
You want to know in my opinion, what really happened? We were playing from behind.
Yeah, that's what happened.
More predictable.
But those routes were getting open, and Daniel was hitting those guys. And, and then all of a sudden guys start dropping passes. Daniel in his head's like, I got to make a play. And then he tries to do too much because Garrett's sticking him back into a one-read offense. That's why he's staring down the receivers. I was watching him do it. He wouldn't look anywhere else because it's one read. Garrett's like, he will be open, and he doesn't get open because the guy doesn't get separation. And Daniel's not used to throwing a contested ball. He does throw a good ball, but every time he threw a contested ball the last 3 years, it gets intercepted.
Yeah.
So where's his confidence?
Wait, Joel, so what are you doing right now? Are you trying to shift blame off of Daniel Jones, or are you trying to blame Jason Garrett? What are you trying to do right now?
I'm trying to just create big picture. Look at everything instead of trying to focus on one.
Oh, well, I think me and Chris have been doing that all stream.
Yeah,
Garrett and Judge.
I get that, but look, if you're going to look at one thing, look at everything, because you know what, Jones did fumble. Okay, but that's one turnover. Our fumble was at a worse point in time than their fumble was. They fumbled too. Hey, you know what? Aaron Rodgers got benched. You ought to be a Green Bay Packers fan right now.
Joe, man, listen, man. My philosophy is it's never, and I'm going to be as fair as I can with Gettleman. I try to stick up for Gettleman. I've defended Gettleman since he's been with the Giants. And all I'm saying this year is if the team doesn't perform, we're going to make a change. I think we all know that going into the year. I'm still backing him. I'm still backing Judge. But when I feel like things need to be critical, I'm going to be critical. And week 1, Joe, I'm going to tell you, I was a big proponent, you know that, of drafting Rashawn Slater.
Me too.
I see what Rashawn Slater does with the Chargers, and I say to myself, this is a year where you should have done everything in your power to give Daniel Jones what he needed. I see Rashawn Slater making Chase Young look like a bitch. He didn't even get a pressure. And I see Nate Solder getting bulldozed. And I'm saying to myself, what are we doing? And that's my take. I didn't agree with what they did in the draft. I thought that they should have went with the lineman. But I do like a lot of the things Gettleman's done in the past, at least when they happened. And I'm going to hope it works out. That's what this year's about for me. You're not always going to agree with what the GM and what the coach do. But as a fan, you have to trust them. They're paid – well, you don't have to. But they're paid professionals. And you have to hope, at least, that what they decided to do was the right decision. And what I'm going to try to do this year is I am going to let it play out. I'm not going to make a complete judgment off of 1 week. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to give it 6-7 weeks. And by then, that's when I'm going to start to come to my conclusion about whether or not they were right and wrong on the decision that they made.
Yeah, but
you were saying look at big picture, Joel, to add on to that. If you're blaming Jason Garrett, I agree with you, blame Jason Garrett, because I don't like the fact that he's calling so many one-read routes. And if he's going to do that, then call a one-read route that involves Galladay earlier. But if you're going to blame Jason Garrett, like I was telling Chris and everybody else, you also blame Joe Judge for always telling him to go conservative and go with a very slow-paced offense. And if you're doing that as well, you also got to blame Daniel Jones, because even though those were one read routes, there were guys. I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, 90% of the time. No. There was like 1, 2, maybe three throws that if he made on those one read plays, those were guys that were open down the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I'm like, if you want to go big picture, the most big picture thing is literally everybody had a terrible game, coaches and players.
I agree. All schemes, they stunk on both sides of the ball. Even special teams was horrible. Okay. So when your scheme is not good, you need to make adjustments. And everybody got scared and did not make the right adjustments. The guys did give effort. I did see that, though. It seemed like everybody was giving effort. So for the people out there that were saying no effort, you're completely wrong. I will disagree with you 100% on that. But as far as Gettleman doing his thing, when he traded down from 11th, we were all ecstatic.
It was a good trade in terms of value. It was a good trade.
We loved it. Okay, so all right, so that right then and there, you knew that Slater was going to be off the board, and we were looking for something else, and we all thought it would be edge. Okay.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know what it was at that point, but I was just happy with the trade value that we got.
Right, and we all had a lot of confidence going into this season with this team, with the moves that we saw in the win that we had against Dallas, which put us into a position where if the Eagles won, we were going to be in the playoffs, and we were ecstatic coming off of that season. And we're like, okay, we think the line is set. Okay, we like what's going on, but however, through the whole year,
the coaching staff thought the line was set.
Well, we felt good about the offensive line because Thomas was playing better, Pert was getting in there more, Hernandez was in and out, but Gates was solid at center. Okay, so there was, we felt good about it. We
with the O-line. That I was consistent was I was like 3 out of those 5 guys I like, but the other 2 I'm not sure about.
When they signed Galladay and let Zeitler go,
right?
In my head, I'm like, they have to draft a lineman. So that when they didn't do that, I disagreed with it. But like I said, I'm going to give them the opportunity to prove me wrong,
right?
And hope that this line works out.
I just
still at the same time like the value we got in the trade.
Right, exactly, because then we still got a future now, and we can do however this year turns out. And I think that's something that the Giants fans need to remember is, okay, we might have if we tear this down at the end of this year.
In the worst case scenario, though, contract wise, we're not in as good of a spot as a lot of fans want to make it out to be, because yes, we did sign 3-year contracts, which was originally the purpose was if it fails, it will be easy to get out of. But if we were to break this thing up right now, as in, this year, worst case scenario just goes down the toilet, we're in a bad spot for 2 years with contracts.
I don't think we're going to I honestly don't think we're going to break it down, because I don't think we're going to be bad enough. Mm-hmm. Like worst case, I think we'll win 6 or 7 games. Like that's worst case.
Right.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 4 games. But I'll say 6 or 7 games. And if that's the case, yes, I think Gettleman will go if we win 6 or 7 games. And I think it's possible Jones goes, but I don't think Judge goes. And I think we would still have the pieces on this team where they feel like if we could bring in a stopgap, if they don't feel that Jones is the guy, that they may still be able to field a competitive team. So I personally don't think if we win 6 or 7 games, and I keep saying Garoppolo, that's kind of the guy I could see if Jones fails this year, which obviously I don't want to happen. I want Jones to be the next Eli Manning. But I could see them going the stopgap route if they feel like they have to move on from Jones and not blowing it up.
Well, I know it's late and I'm going to get going. And my last comment here is if we lose this game, people are good. You better get rid of Garrett. If we lose it, especially if we lose it 28-17 or something like that, people are going to start screaming.
There is going to be a rally outside of MetLife Stadium.
Yep.
He's public enemy number 1 with Giants fans. I'm just curious to see who's going to be public enemy number 1 once we do finally get rid of him.
Oh, it's going to be the next guy up. It's going to be Kitchens. For some reason, this fan base really doesn't want to blame Joe Judge for anything, even though he hasn't done us anything great. He works.
I love Joe Judge.
He put out a good product with a subpar team, and he overachieved. Yes,
I do.
But
think
we got to take responsibility here.
Yeah, and who was it? It was Dan Duggan, actually. I think it was Dan Duggan. There's a portion of the fan base that whenever there is a move that the fan base unanimously thinks is a good move, it's Joe Judge that made the move.
Right.
Whenever there's a move that the fan base thinks unanimously was a bad move, How did Gettleman do that? And I'm going to give you an example. When we let Dalvin Tomlinson walk, all I saw over Twitter, how did Dave Gettleman do that? Why would he let Dalvin Tomlinson go? However, and I'm going to call Dan Duggan out for this, and I like Dan. He made a tweet like a week ago when we traded Santoso and got a 7th round pick.
But we're not going to get that anymore because he got.
We're not
cut
going to
from
get
the
that anymore.
Panthers,
When we got a whatever the terminology was, a 7th round pick.
it was conditional 7th. Yeah.
Conditional 7th round pick. He said Joe Judge just pulled an unbelievable move to be able to get a 7th round pick for a kicker. And I said, Dan, why is it whenever there's anything bad, you're right that Dave Gettleman's a moron, but when there's a move that you think is great, Joe Judge just pulled a heist. No, that's not the way it works. If you're going to give Judge credit when things are good, you have to give Judge credit when things are bad.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree. You
So,
guys
Joel,
have
any
a
last
great
thoughts?
night.
Yeah.
No, that was it, my guy. You know, you guys get some sleep. You got school in the morning, Hub.
Be good, man. It was nice seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, you too, bud. We'll see you in your streams.
Thank you for calling in, Joel. You better start popping back in early next week, next Tuesday, bro.
Let's go, Giants. Let's get a win. Let's get a win.
Yeah, that's what I say. You know, it's nice being last once in a while.
Sure. You got it, bro. Have a good one, man. Shout out to Zion for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it, man. He says, for the fam, what's Gucci, Giants for life. We got 2 more people that we're closing it out. Shout out to Inferno Productions, man. What's up? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Tired.
What's going on,
yeah,
man?
I feel that. I have to wake up for college and at 6:30. So
is that Warby Parker glasses?
I don't know. I just got the glasses from the store, and that was it.
I bet not, because these are Warby Parker, and I was looking at ones very similar to that. It's whatever. Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
I was like looking at ones that are exactly like that.
Yeah, so Tana already knows who I am. So
yeah, man. You're in my streams all the time. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I was just waiting here for over an hour. It was that Bobby Powers guy talking for 30 minutes. I'm like, can you just shut up? I'm an Eagles fan. Just shut up. But personally, it's I'm glad that we got the win. I expected my Eagles to win against Atlanta, but not in the fashion that we did. We undressed the Falcons. We undressed them. But I'm not overhyping it. Of course, it's just one game. Obviously, the next game against the 49ers is going to be the big test with how Jalen Hurts is going to do, or how Nick Sirianni's game plan is going to be like. So that will give us some more. That will give me and everyone in general just some bigger insight to how the Eagles are going to be this season.
Mm-hmm.
And as for the Giants, I definitely think that a lot of Giants fans are overreacting, because I've just seen all these Giants fans who are talking all the trash on this offseason, and then now they're jumping ship after one game. It's
hey, man,
keep that same energy.
What I will say is, can you blame it comparing it to the entire decade?
I agree. You can't blame the fans, because we always lose the beginning of the year. But this is the same fan base that after Daniel Jones' first 2 starts, half the fan base was ready to say he was better than Eli Manning. And then after his first start in his second year, they were ready to say tank for Trevor Lawrence. So this is the most reactionary fan base, I think, in football. I think that you're not going to get patience with New York Giants fans. That's not the way it works. And I'm not surprised, which is why as a content creator, I am begging that we do not lose this game, because it's going to be hell for me for 10 days if they do.
Right. I feel yeah. I mean, I don't blame Giants fans for being upset about the loss, because, like I said, y'all have been experiencing this for so long. At this point, it's something needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously, like I said, but I wouldn't panic if I was a Giants fan. I'd be like, let's go into this next game. Let's get a win. But obviously, if you guys do win, it definitely does put your season in a bigger jeopardy. You don't want to lose to Washington. Even though I personally have Washington winning the division, even though probably now at this point I don't have the winning the division, just because they lost Fitzpatrick. I don't know how Taylor Heineke. I think Taylor Heineke is good, but whenever teams game plan for him, that's going to be a lot different.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with the NFC East. I think it could be anybody. That's just how the NFC East is.
That's how it is every single year, man.
It's anyone's
every
division.
single year.
It's anyone's.
It could. It's why you can't give up on the season. Even if we start 0-2, it's why I won't give up on the season. It's very possible the Chargers beat the Cowboys. and we'll see what happens with you against the Niners. But if you lose to the Niners and the Chargers beat the Cowboys, even if we lose, we're only a game out. So, and I still view this as a ultra important game, but I'm not going to put the phrase must win on it. But it's a big game. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Am I
And
still
then who
coming
else?
through? I
Who did
lost
the
it.
Eagles
Sorry.
face week 2? They face 49ers. Cowboys
Yeah.
face Chargers. Okay, and Washington and us. So yeah, I'm definitely praying on the Cowboys' downfall for sure.
Am I still coming through right now? Because I lost one of my earbuds has died. So
yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so and I like to keep it short because I need to get to bed, of course, and that way the last caller can get a shot. But I say I'm gonna keep it. Keep the same. My prediction was the Eagles was their record. I'd say like 6, maybe 8 wins if things go their way. Giants, I'd say 8-10 wins. I don't think. I think every team is just gonna be really competitive, and it's not gonna be like one team that's gonna run off with the division. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think there's a superstar team in the division, so I agree with you. I think it'll be competitive down to the wire, and your Eagles might be better than I thought they were going to be going into the year. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, as of right now, once again, we all been saying this week 1, but as of right now, I certainly don't see them as a 3-win team anymore.
Yeah, right. I wasn't even think. I wasn't even thinking that either. And what's crazy is that how all these Eagles fans are like they were giving up in this on the season and the off season, and then like now that they've seen what possibly Hurts can become or what Sirianni can become, now they're like, oh, we're Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. It's like, yeah. I just don't understand some
you
people.
guys, if Hurts is good, winning 8 games like you said, yeah, I think it's possible. I'll get a better view of you guys after you play the 49ers, but if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be pumped up. I mean, granted, it's the Falcons, but like you said, I mean, like I told Hub, when's the last time we beat a team by 20 points? It's been since 2018. So you got to be excited. You should be excited if you're an Eagles fan. And
yeah, I definitely am excited because honestly, like I feel like finally the Eagles have like a watchable team. Like last year, it's just like I just give up at the season. I don't care what happens. I just want certain things to be, for the next season, just to improve on the season, and I'm not like my expectations aren't really high, but like I'm also don't want to be like a 3-win team. Like I want us to win games. I want us to be competitive.
I think you're going to win more than 3 games.
Yes, like I said, like 6 to 8 wins, I'd say is realistically fair. So
yeah, I agree.
I can see that for sure. Inferno, thank you for calling in, man. Have a good one, bro. Hopefully you call in the future. I think I only have like 3 Eagles fans.
You've been a great subscriber of mine for a while.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure getting to talk to you.
Yeah,
there's only like 3 Eagles fans on here, bro. It's like Big Play Slave, Bryson, and Bobby. Now you make number 4, bro.
Yeah, I'm like the chill Eagles fan. I'm not from Philly, so I mean that's probably why.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Yeah. Have a good one, bro.
You good, buddy?
Yeah, you too.
Finally, AP, what's up, man? Adrian Peterson, how you doing? And he left. All right, then. Okay, that's cool. Well, guys, thank you all for tuning in. You guys have been great sticking with me all the way through the end. 100 viewers. Smash the like button. You guys are obviously know Chris. Go over there. Thank you guys for calling in. All the callers went like way longer than I expected. Shout out to John Kim for the last minute super chat. He says also moving Gates to right guard because automatically I'm going to say nah. If I'm moving Gates anywhere, it's going to be probably to left guard because that's where we're struggling now. I know Will Hernandez had a bad game, but I'm moving to left guard, but not to right tackle. I don't know, man. What do you think about it? If we move Gates to right tackle?
No, I don't want to move Gates to right tackle.
Yeah, I want to move him back outside.
No, I know. Ideally, I'd like to keep him at center. Part of his value is the ability to move him around, and we got Billy Price now, who obviously could step in and play center. But I want to keep him where he is. If we have to move Solder, I'd rather see Parrott get an opportunity. Even though I'm definitely skeptical of whether or not he could get the job done this year, but I'd definitely give Parrott a chance there before I thought about moving Gates away from the center spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Parrott was really bad, maybe then I start to think about something like that.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there, man. But yeah, guys, we're gonna close it out. Thank you for being here, and we're out.